All right. Welcome, everybody. Game 3, New York got game. Live Knicks watch party. Your boy Dexter Henry here. Another time for you to enjoy this with us. Knicks are up 2-0 in the series. Nobody could believe it. I still can't believe it.
Same.
But joining me and my guy Bryan Fonseca today is a guy, I met him for the first time just today, but I followed his work for quite some time. Joe Dellera of the Action Network, big-time Knicks fan, always plugged in on the bets. What's up, my friend? How you doing?
Dude, thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here. I mean, I always talk to Bryan regularly, and I see your work. I see you guys working together. So
Yeah.
it's awesome to be plugging in with both of you.
It's funny, like I work with both of y'all at different places. You know what I mean?
This is true. Bryan also does work for the Action Network.
Two of the people that I work with, I would say the closest now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis. So this should be a fun show, very fun show.
So you're a Knicks fan, Joe. How are you feeling about this? Because, like I said, I don't think a lot of us thought they would be here, but here we are.
I'm elated. Like, this has been unbelievable for me. I keep watching the games. I will say these games have presented some amazing live betting opportunities, the way the Knicks have kind of pulled this one out. But I'm happy we got a day game. I'm here in studio with you guys because I can't wake up my 1-year-old. I was yelling so much, and they won the last game. Man. That was the end. I was like, oh no, my wife's yelling at me.
It's funny. As somebody who's a dad, my daughter, she's 9 now, but it's like she'll be 9 in a couple of weeks. I couldn't imagine the Knicks have been good in trying to watch these games while she was a baby.
Yeah.
I've been so nervous because, as you know, if you wake up the 1-year-old and you're getting them down in the sleep time to get ready to sleep, it could disturb everything. And your wife is pissed at you. None of this is good.
It's tough. I got to do tubby time at halftime. Like, you got to do what you got to do.
You're out here making it work, but you're trying to enjoy these games still at the same time. All right, you're here. It's an afternoon game. You do not have to worry about waking up your little one. So this is good. This is good for you. How, I guess for both of you, because I just asked the Knicks fans on Twitter, I said, how you guys feeling? A lot of confidence, man. One person told me Knicks by 17 today. Knicks are underdogs here today. Knicks are 5.5. Thinking the line's back up to 6. Underdogs here today. Should the Knicks be underdogs at home after winning 2 on the road? And their home at the Garden is going to be nuts. Should they be underdogs here?
I mean, I guess based on the power ranking, like that's what the full season numbers are kind of indicating. Plus, it obviously is a must-win game for Boston, and you have to feel like, to a degree, you would think that the shots start falling at some point, but at the same time, the shots are not exactly the same shots they were taking during the regular season. So they're taking a lot more shots where they're dribbling the air out of the ball first. There's a lot more ISOs, a lot less passing. Shots are coming later in the shot clock, and that's what Wingstop's doing for you. So I think that there is some reason for maybe Boston to have some positive regression, but at the same time, Guard's going to be rocking today. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be quite the environment for New York to kind of have that advantage and feed off the crowd.
Yeah, Bryan, were you shocked they were underdogs?
Not really, just because I felt like a lot of people were going to bet Boston, and ultimately that's like what this is a reflection of.
Yeah.
It opened, I think, at -4 for Boston, and then it got bet up to now where it's around 6. I took Boston in the first half, like I did last game, like I did in the first game, just because, like, not the results, but it kind of feels like, all right, that sense of urgency is going to be there again, at least to start. The problem is, will they hold the lead after the fact, And the Knicks might actually get out to a strong start because, they're at home and their confidence has to be up. Like, you see how fans are confident. Some fans think this is going to be a sweep legitimately now.
I'm ready to go there.
Knicks in 4.
Given what we've seen so far, it's hard to dispute that. But at the same time, it's like, you do expect Boston to have their run. I don't think they're going to come out flat. I have questions about how they'll finish the game based on what we've seen, but I don't think they're going to come out flat. So I get them being favored, especially in the first half, as it relates to this game.
So I was talking with 2 of my friends yesterday, talking with my best friends, Anthony, about this, and we think the home court advantage could be huge for the Knicks. Like, there's this, but it can go either way. If the Knicks come out hitting shots or playing good defense, the crowd is going to get even more charge. If they don't, and you've seen this before in sports, that nervous energy
that
can
in Boston.
That can affect the team, especially when in the bigger markets where there's a lot of expectations. That can affect the team too. So it's really interesting. The first, to me, like 5 minutes of this game are absolutely interesting from either a betting perspective, from just watching as a fan perspective, is very interesting too. So you told me about a bet you took that I thought was really interesting before the game in terms of comebacks, which This feels like the comeback series.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like the comeback series. Talk to us about that bet you took because I thought that was an interesting one.
Yeah, so they had a market out there, and it was basically the largest comeback for either team, essentially to win the game. But I bet 5 points, 10 points, sprinkle a little bit on 15. But 5 was minus 130 when I bet it. I think it's about minus 150 now. It's a little juice there, but look, the way that Boston plays and the way that New York plays, they both can be a little bit streaky. So this works for either team. 5 points is 2 possessions. I mean, like
that generally happens almost every game.
We've seen it every. We've seen it in both games here. We saw 20. 5 points is nothing. Like 5 points is we could actually have both teams be in a position to win that prop at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. Which makes it a very, very, very fun bet. Like that could be a good one. Bryan, any props today? I know you got some you took.
Derek White over 3.5 threes. The Knicks keep leaving them open inexplicably. Last time he was 3 for like a lot, but he keeps getting the attempts. It's the big thing. And the first game was 5 for 16. So I think he's the guy. Like if Boston's gonna have a decent shooting performance, it would tell me like Derek White is sort of leading the charge there because he's ultimately gonna take the most threes from that team. I also have Peyton Pritchard. Over 1.5 was juice, so I also took him a sprinkle to make 3 threes in this game. Brent Henderson, who we work with, took 4 and 5. He like escalated it.
Damn.
Overall, because Peyton Pritchard is another one of these guys. Like he's had some success against the Knicks in the past, and in terms of the bench unit, the bench battle hasn't been as key to this series as I thought it would be necessarily because the Knicks have been able to survive with the strong 7. But those are the 2 things I've looked at. And then from the Knicks perspective, I'm going to take it to the wire here because I was looking at Josh Hart, a couple different angles. I might pass on that because I don't really have a feel for how they're going to get it done. If they do get it done, it just feels like this game can go in a lot of different directions. I feel like all I know right now is that Boston is still going to keep shooting a lot of threes because they're stubborn and because that's what they do and because they feel like, and how could you not, we'll make them at some point because that's what we do. That's probably how they're looking at this.
DNA.
You know, and if you're the Knicks, like there's a couple different ways to look at it. Like Karl Anthony Towns, we talked about whether or not he's going to have like that explosive game, which he hasn't had yet. He hasn't been able to shoot threes. He's only shot 2 in 2 games, which is unlike him. And I think you're going to need to stretch him out at some point. And then Deuce McBride off the bench. We talk about role players in the playoffs, role players coming off the bench in the playoffs. Deuce McBride is one guy I'd be looking at where it's like, okay, is he going to come in and have the big impact performance, or is he somebody that can't really sniff like 15 minutes because it just doesn't look great?
The time is interesting because I have some props involving him. I want to just get some people in the chat. Elizabeth Sambula, shout out to you. Said, let's go Knicks. Adam Rose says, we got this, Dexter. OG going to be very strong in this game, and Mitchie is ready to dominate. Mitchie, I like that. Call him Mitchie. There we go. Okay, I like that. Ready to dominate the offensive glass. Now, the rebounding stuff has been interesting to me in this game. Where the Celtics were at one point, Bryan and I talked about this last watch party, Joe. They were plus 14 in the third quarter. And the Knicks got that to where they were minus 5 for the game.
Yeah.
If they can keep it within 5, I think the Knicks are in a good shape. But it would be nice to see the Knicks win the rebounding battle for a lot. And Tibbs doesn't seem to be going away from Mitchell Robinson. So there should be plenty of opportunities for Mitchell Robinson if you like him for rebounds. On offensive glass should be there for them too.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing was with Mitchell Robinson was they kept fouling him. They were playing the hack a Mitch type of thing. But there was a point at the end of the fourth quarter where they were going to put OG in, and then they decided not to because they were like, well, if he just keeps fouling Mitch, we're going to get the bonus.
Yep.
So I would keep playing Mitch, force the issue, and Mitch has been unbelievable for them on both sides of the floor, really, especially as an offensive rebounder. So I would force the issue. If Boston wants to foul and put him on the free throw line, then whatever, maybe you have to sit him, but at least you got into the bonus.
Yeah, and you got to use that too. That was huge, I think, for the Knicks comeback that some people didn't mention. I did look at a couple of small parlays here to keep my eye on. Mitchell Robinson 5+ rebounds combined with Mikal Bridges over 3.5 assists. Mikal Bridges has gone over 5 assists in both of these games, so might be a little bit of low value there for him. Then I have Deuce McBride, who you talked about, over half a 3, over 5.5 points combined there.
Yeah, if you like value. Deuce, that's the way to look.
Half a 3 is so much fun too.
It is half a 3. It's all stupid. Feels stupid to say, but
No, it is, especially for like a center or someone who's like in Deuce's position, just coming off the bench, where it's like you just need 1 3.
You know,
get it up.
He's capable of doing it, especially at home. He did it the last couple of games. So.
And he fires, so he's not afraid.
All right, here we go. Tip-off time. Do we have any predictions?
Knicks in 4.
There you go. I like that energy. Knicks in 4. Here we go. Knicks win the tip.
Let's get a 5-0 lead.
Yeah, there you go.
I
There
want
you
to
go.
hear.
You get
I
that 5-0 lead.
want to hear if they make the first shot, how loud it's going to be.
It's going to be loud.
You know.
You wanted it.
Oh, let's go.
Look at that
But
offensive board
rebound.
already.
Yeah.
That's that energy.
Oh, look at Tatum.
Way to not foul.
I swear he was going to.
Nah,
Like,
that
Cat was right there.
I know. That was like a disaster if Cat gets a foul there.
Yeah, honestly. Al Horford starting again. Worth noting that Kristaps Porzingis is going to be the 6th man once again. So it's an interesting wrinkle, and I think that's what you have to do given the sickness situation. You don't know what he's going to give you.
6th man or 7th man? You know, they got Peyton Pritchard.
That's true. 7th man.
Nick's not getting those first couple shots to go down.
That's a good Brunson shot, though.
Yeah,
it is.
Posting up Josh Hart right away.
Trying to go right at. Watch the Celtics not shoot a 3 in the
Yeah,
score.
I'm like, but look at, when Jalen Brown does that, like
all the way, Bridges.
Let's go.
Nice, Mikal going all the way. I like it. Go ahead. Sorry, Brian.
No, I was gonna say if you're the Knicks, you want Jalen Brown to just ISO every possession.
That's ideal scenario.
That's a good point. Oh,
that's what you don't want because they move the ball quickly, catch a shoot opportunity, boom. Like
that was the thing. I mean, Tatum and Brown were 8 of 37 from 3 in the first 2 games. Like, and honestly, if you look at who Boston has from a 3-point shooting perspective, the best shooters are Derek White, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard.
Yes.
Tatum shoots 35%. Brown's at like 32%.
Yeah.
Those are the guys you want shooting threes, especially if they're going to dribble 7+ times before they get the shot up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good point.
5-point lead.
5-point lead.
5-point lead.
Oh, we got it one way.
You got it one way. You're ready.
All right. Just need the Knicks to come back.
Yeah, now we need it to actually happen again.
Yeah, see, and look how quick that happened.
Yeah.
Not even 3 minutes into the game.
And you wouldn't think anything of a 7-2 lead.
No, you don't think anything of it. You're just like,
Right.
that's bad. That's started basketball.
Yeah. For people who may have missed it at the top, we all bet a 5-point comeback either way at minus, well, you minus 135. But,
yeah.
Oh, it's an interesting foul to take in that spot.
Yeah.
But I get it.
It's good. I mean, I'd love if Drew Holiday got in foul trouble.
I think the Knicks would love it. The Knicks would love if Drew Holiday got in foul trouble. Yeah, that play right there. You saw Josh just overplay. He's respecting the 3 so hard, closed out so hard.
That's the thing I'd not worry about, but I think the Knicks have to account for, all right, if Boston does diversify their offense, which it at least looks like they're trying to do right now, then the lane is going to be wide open. Because that's the thing, like, with Cat as an anchor, they haven't attacked them enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, if Boston actually does attack them, like, this could get really interesting because Boston might not have to win the 3-point battle in such a dramatic way to win the game.
Yeah. I mean, he's held up switching so far, which has been impressive, honestly.
Yes, that has been impressive. I agree.
I guess part of it, too, is, Tatum and Brown, part of the issue before Missoula ball kind of became a thing where they're shooting a million threes was they got into the mud when they would just try to ISO. So they're not, as good as they are, and they're obviously better than the average player playing on an ISO situation, but they're not super fast. They're not particularly strong, or they're not the best ISO scorers. They can score like that, but it allows you to play Cat like this.
Ooh, there you go.
Let's go.
There's 1 3 for Cat.
That's his first make from 3 in the entire series.
That's unbelievable.
And he took that from about 20. I don't know what that was.
Oh,
so there you go.
Jalen Brown. I still live with that.
Yeah, but they didn't get the comeback.
Yeah, right.
Right. You want it if you can get it on both sides early, then you're sitting comfortable.
Then you're chilling.
Yeah, you're chilling.
You're just waiting for that cash to hit your account.
Yeah. It looked like he was going to shoot again.
This is where Towns would be keeping these turnovers.
Yeah.
He had a couple of bad ones in the third quarter of the last game. Yeah.
Yeah, Derek White
hit it.
Derek White poked it away. Patrick Gross says, "Let's go Knicks" in all caps.
There we go. Like
Appreciate
that
y'all
energy.
for tuning in. Tell your friends. We will be posting clips from the post account all game.
A lot of featuring Cat here.
Like almost doubling him. That's a great shot, though.
I generally don't like him fading away, but he had so much space and a good look.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I think he got deep enough to where it was tolerable. What is this?
That's great.
What
That's
are they
great
doing?
defense. That's great defense by Bridges.
Why is Drew posting up Mikal Bridges? That doesn't make sense.
I think they're making a concerted effort. The Celtics are to try to get inside.
Yeah.
I wonder how much that
I
is
don't like
in
the
their
way
head.
I don't like the way they're doing it.
That's
though.
fair.
They also might want to try to pick up a little bit of foul trouble for the Knicks because they're running such a thin rotation, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! It was halfway down and around for OG.
Like they're doing it in isolation, so then the Knicks could just sit back and be like, "All right,
Yeah.
like,
nope."
Like that's fine.
Like that was better.
I think the Celtics are over trying now to get inside.
They're so see, this is how the Heat ended up beating them 2 years ago. This is how Golden State beat them in the finals before that. Like
that's good.
They just do a bunch of dumb shit.
They're tilting.
Talented as they are.
Knicks ball.
That's our ball. Oh,
they got it on the hit. Yeah,
it's not ideal.
Towns is like just
See,
top 5. It just hands out.
What did I do?
He doesn't put them here. He puts them up here too.
I wish Cat was mic'd up for every game.
I know. I wish we could hear it. They never give us the good stuff on mic'd up.
No, because
we try to because we're all mic'd up, but pull up 3. See, if you're Boston, that's the only dribble 3 that you want Tatum taking.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only one. If he's doing the sidestep shit, step back also in the right situation, but
or like step into it.
Yeah, that's
get in.
Flat.
Offensive board.
He's taking them though.
For the Knicks.
There's like barely anyone on this team I feel like should be posting up on either team.
Yeah.
Cat on a small guy.
Brunson every so often.
Brunson absolutely.
On the right kind of good person who's guarding him. Right.
Tatum, if he has a mismatch, is fine. But
gotta get it in. Oh, good pass.
Nice. Oh,
God, that was a good pass. Because you put it right on the other side of the rim, only where you can get it.
Oh,
they're over aggressive when they're going to the rim.
Tatum's been missing layups all series.
Bridges.
Oh, I thought he was firing
too.
Got him. Oh, Knicks have had about 3 shots go in and out. And
good touch on some of these.
It's been tough. Call it shot variance.
Yeah.
Cat 2.
I felt like they were going to call that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's 2 on Cat, I think.
Oh, that's a break in a way.
There's a timeout.
Yeah. The Knicks, not the start. I think
is that Bad Bunny?
I believe it was. Everybody's in the building today.
Bad Bunny, I think he got a Knicks hat.
I mean, you saw those ticket prices; they were insane today.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
The cheapest ticket was like $800. I saw last night.
Yeah.
If you're Puerto Rican, I can tell you're a New Yorker as well by association.
So Bad Bunny is in the building. How are we feeling about the start for the Knicks? Because it's not the one that's going to have the crowd but they're just a runaway.
It's not as bad as it looks at all on the scoreboard.
No,
they missed some makeable shots.
Yeah.
Boston they don't look comfortable at all offensively. Boston just has more points right now, and that's what matters. But they haven't been able to sustain these leads in the first 2 games. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean they missed 4 bunnies, so it just is what it is. I think the offensive process is fine. Gotta just convert.
Boston still has to prove they can get to the rim consistently.
Yeah,
so that's where if I'm looking at the Knicks start, I'm just like objectively, I'm just it's whatever, it's fine. You missed a couple makeable shots. They look like they're trying to get to the rim but kind of can't.
Yeah,
the cleanest look they had by far was the Drew Holiday show and go, but everything else has been clunky. You know what I mean?
And
they've hit 2 threes. So.
Yeah.
They've hit 2 threes.
They've maybe more, yeah.
Every starter's taken. No, sorry, that's the Knicks I'm looking at. Every starter's taking 3 except for Drew Holiday. Oh, Derek White. Derek White, surprisingly, has not shot.
It's early.
Yeah,
it's early.
He's got to put back and everything. So
yeah.
So they're 3-3 from downtown. They're 5-9 overall. That is the Celtics. So offensively, they're off to a fine start. Knicks just 2 of 11.
Yeah,
but they're only down 6.
11 shots though.
Yeah.
So
that's
two
offensive rebounds.
Yeah, it felt like it. Yeah. I mean, it's just whatever. This is just.
But I like that because the Knicks usually haven't been ahead of them on shots in this game, in this series. They haven't been ahead of them in terms of pace in the series. So if those sort of things can keep up, I kind of expect them to play a little faster at home. You thought you'd see a little bit more of that, but the Knicks would have to clean some things up. And the Celtics have missed some shots. The offense is used. I think the word used is clunky.
Yeah,
it hasn't
I
looked that
expect that said, I expected Boston to be up at halftime. I bet on it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like but I also expect, as we've seen, the Knicks to just hang around, and it's ultimately like, all right, is Boston actually going to close, or is it going to be like the regular season where Boston does get on fire at some point? Then it's like, all right, there's nothing.
And we're just cooked. Yeah.
You know, which that hasn't happened yet, but you know, is it going to happen at some point? With the Knicks though, like you just have to stay in the game. You've proven that.
Yeah.
You've only led. They put it up before the game started. 93 minutes played before today, and you have that mathematically.
It was 12 and a half minutes they've led.
Yeah, that mathematically
they barely led.
That mathematically can't be true. They put 93 minutes, but like they've played more than that because 48
and
48
overtime,
plus
right?
5.
Yeah.
Unless there's been a tie for 8 minutes, which I guess, but whatever. Boston. The point is, Boston.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah,
according
it has
to
be.
their graphic, not me, them on ABC say that the Celtics led.
Brian making sure he puts the blame.
Lay the blame.
Where it belongs.
Listen, I'll take
Let
blame.
them know.
I'll take blame if I mess up. I didn't this one.
That's fair enough.
But Boston, according to them, has led for 81 minutes and the Knicks for 13 prior to this.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Knicks got them right where they want them. Is what you're telling me.
Or maybe, no, I feel like the Knicks have them right with one when they're down 20.
Yeah,
That's when they have them right where they want them.
Yeah.
Not quite yet.
Down 20 or clutch time in the fourth quarter.
Oh, man.
All 5 starters have scored for Boston. And also Jalen Brown, he's not Steve Nash from the free throw line, so he's going to have to prove he can make them.
Oh.
Wow.
They were trying to make you right.
I can't imagine like rooting for him on a day-to-day basis. I feel like he would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I like him, Jalen Brown. I like his game. He does some important things off the court and is trying to do more as well. So I like, from that perspective, great. But like his game, just the decision making sometimes, the handle obviously has been talked about a lot over the years. But hey, he got Finals MVP last year, so he at least he got something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a capable player. You know, it's just that his I think he actually is a little bit better in the playoffs because he gets to play some more minutes with Tatum.
Yeah,
as opposed to in the regular season where they're staggering him a little bit more. That's
Jalen
a tough
Brunson,
shot.
Man, that's a tough shot. Good D.
I feel like they could have gotten him a cleaner look there, but he had Pritchard on him, so it's fine.
I mean, that's one of those where sometimes you just need that bucket from your star player.
Yeah. Tough finish.
Nice strong tape.
Here we
KP
go.
set to come in. I mean,
Here comes
Mitchell
Mitch.
Robinson. Yep. You see the chess game early on here.
It's interesting.
Oh, man. And one. Oh.
Damn, he fouled him pretty good.
Yeah.
See, I like.
He got caught in the air.
Yeah.
Good old school playoff foul. I like that.
You know, it's funny because like this literally this matchup between KP and Mitch, if we're calling it that, could go either way. It's like KP could shoot him off the floor, or if he can't make enough shots, then Mitch is like, all right, I could stay out here. I can get rebounds on some of these misses as well and anchor a defense. Like this can go literally either way. This is a styles make fight situation. And they have completely different fighting styles.
Well, the thing about it, too, is Mitch has been able to effectively play defense in a drop against his Boston team. So,
which we didn't think.
Porzingis, if he's, picking and popping, that's really the thing that Boston has missed in this series. They don't have a guy that's really effective that way.
Yeah.
If Porzingis is going to be able to play meaningful minutes, then that's important. That's a big swing for Boston.
Yeah, it's like if Boston makes their threes, then Mitch all of a sudden, like, not he's unplayable, but
it just doesn't matter as much.
Yeah. If Boston's making their threes, then Mitch can't really play for long stints. But if they're missing, then you could survive with Mitch out there because he all of a sudden becomes more of a problem, especially because they're missing and Mitch is out there. It means better chance for the Knicks at getting rebounds.
Yeah.
Why are they trying to post up Mikal again? Like Jalen Brown's like,
I think that's the thing. It's like they get stuck with it a little bit.
Jesus.
3 more.
That was a tough 3.
Well, that's 10 points now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Josh just lets it shoot there.
don't want OG in
out.
isolation.
He stepped out. Yeah.
If I'm Tibbs, I don't want OG in isolation.
No, it's not
Absolutely
ideal.
not.
Are they called foul?
Probably.
Oh, we'll take that. I thought he stepped out of bounds.
Me too, but he might have gotten fouled first. This one, you just shake his hand. You're like, all right, bro.
But he's the one guy that you want taking that shot if you're Boston.
Yeah. Or Pritchard, maybe.
Or Pritchard.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's got even more volume.
Look at that. Exactly 25% both games.
It's crazy.
Oh, no.
No,
Yeah,
not even.
No, I'm right.
Yeah.
25%. Yeah. Math hasn't failed me yet. Oh.
That's nice.
Nice scoop layup.
I don't know where was this Bridges all regular season?
Trying to figure it out.
I don't know, but I'm
this
just
is
happy he's here now.
This is Dex's corner right here.
I'm just happy he's here now. Let's go, Mitch. Nice
Dex has
rebound.
been shooting him bail all season. And
I've been telling
Knicks
people, give him
Knicks
grace.
fans have
I've been
been
trying.
Knicks fans have been pissed off about it. But, like,
Oh, he's got him on his back.
he's kind of right now.
I'm
That's a
surprised they didn't
rebound.
call a foul.
It's a rebound for Derek
Yeah,
White.
that's true. I got his PR.
Yeah. Oh, they got to give it back to Derek White, no? He had
Good
Mitch on him.
defense. Knicks can come with
Knicks
that
got away with one. Knicks got away with one.
He did.
Oh!
Whoa! Come on.
Is that not
All
ball?
right. I need a replay immediately.
You got to see what just happened here.
There was a lot going on there. Knicks got away with one, I was saying, because Derek White was
Here
on
we
Mitchell
go.
Robinson and he was wide open. So he just houses this from McHale and then just, okay. I guess that was on
It's a
Mitch.
weak foul.
Let's see. The Celtics wanted interference because he touched the rim there. Oh, you know why? Because his hand came down at the end. but-
Yeah. Well, it looked like he was, I don't know, because he looked like the ball was out. I don't know. It's a tough one.
It's a bang play.
My cash cow, Peyton Pritchard.
He made me a fantasy champion last season. Not this season, unfortunately. But wasn't his fault. I blame Amen Thompson. Got hurt at the wrong time.
That's true. That is true. I started to sweat that sixth man of the year a little bit at the end, but
Oh, yeah, draft lottery. Do we want to come in early and watch the lottery?
As somebody who's like covered the draft lottery before, no.
Not on stream.
I mean, what time is the lottery?
7.
Yeah,
I think it goes right
I wanna
into the
watch it.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here to see it.
I'm curious to see what happens because I want to know who gets who. And
Come on, Mitch.
Do your thing, Mitch.
Yeah.
See, that's where he's dangerous. That pass was dangerous also. But
Yes, he was. Woo!
It's also just
Oh.
hilarious. He doesn't even look to like put the ball up.
I knew he was gonna shoot that.
me too.
Wow.
Derek White with them putbacks.
The
The
PR.
points,
man.
rebounds.
Yeah, the PR.
Yeah.
12-point deficit for the Knicks. This is not the start the Knicks wanted. I think.
No,
You got them right where they want them.
it's a little slow.
Still, like I can't say it's because of what the first two games.
You
Doesn't
can't.
mean
You
it's
can't.
going to
It's
keep
fair.
happening, but we don't know.
Nice little foul there.
I was still, even with this start, I've been more impressed by how the Celtics started
Look
the
at how-
last
look at
game than this game.
Deuce is in a tough spot. You got to make a decision.
Yeah.
You gotta,
It's like
once you see him shooting, you gotta look to see who you can box out.
Yeah.
Though
he was trying to get Tatum, but then Derek White just creeps in because it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm open. Second putback. Like, listen, this is a man who forced the game 7 with a putback. You know, like
That's true.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be in the right place at the right time more often than not. Moving screen,
No.
defensive foul.
Yep.
On Porzingis.
Look at how Derek White defended him. He just kind of let him.
Is it sending Mitch to the line?
Oh, that's what it was.
I don't think
I didn't
so.
see
I don't
the
think it was intentional.
I don't
but-
think it was, but it will send him to the line.
Oh boy.
He needs a game where he's going to have to hit his free throws, and I'm
He needs to
hoping
hit
this
the
could
rim.
be it for him.
He needs to hit the rim. Just hit the
His
rim.
last free throw did not hit the rim.
Oh.
This rim has not been friendly for the.
The person using the
No.
controller had it online. They just missed it.
So like in 2K, when they say slightly early,
Yeah.
that's what that was.
The worst part is too, he's our best rebounder, and he's the one shooting them. So it's a disaster.
Because you don't have him there for the two
Oh
rebounds.
my goodness, both of them went in and out. See, this is why there's some Knicks fans who they still want to trade him at the end, but that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Oof. He might help you get a championship for all we know. I don't know.
Oh man,
That's the Tatum 3 that they want.
Yeah.
Look at those.
I mean, they're only 5 points away from the Knicks having them right.
well,
Where
we
they
got my
want.
15 now, so I just need the Knicks to spin it the other way.
10 and 15.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the first quarter.
the script is there already.
yeah, just how we scripted it up.
All right, not the start Knicks or
He
their fans
hesitated,
wanted.
too.
He did.
Yeah,
If you're Mitch, like, what are you gonna do?
You got out as close as you could by the time he was rising.
yeah,
You
you're not
don't
trying
wanna
to foul him. So
You're not
You
trying
don't
to have
want
him
him
blow
to drive
past
by
you.
you.
yeah,
He drives by you, and then Derek White is open. You know what I mean? Like,
you know,
Yes, pick your poison there.
Yeah.
Knicks fans, how we feeling? I got to think that a little bit of the hype.
I think I'm gonna be totally honest, and y'all can tell us if you're watching this. Obviously, don't be shy, but I still think they're kind of like we'll see what happens in the second half.
they just gotta keep it. They're just like we gotta keep it close enough.
Yeah.
And,
get
and
close.
honestly, I still feel like even if the Knicks lose this game, they'll be like 2-1 Garden next game, like whatever. Like
Yeah,
I think Knicks fans are confident as long as this is at least 3-1 going into Boston. And obviously, if it's 4-0, it's 4-0. I think if Boston wins both, and this is the thing I was saying last time, they're an excellent road playoff team. Like this build the last few years, they've won a lot of very important playoff games on the road. They're good on the road. They're probably the best on the road in the playoffs. So if it's 2-2, that's when Knicks fans are gonna be like, who knows what's gonna happen. But if they just split these two at the Garden, I think Knicks fans will be fine.
yeah. I mean, if you're up 3-1, you got to feel good.
Oh, you would have
Yeah.
signed, and you would.
That's the thing. You'd sign up
would
for
have
that every
that.
time.
Yeah.
I think most Knicks fans, almost all of them would have signed for 2-2.
Yeah,
They would have probably have not preferred, losses at the Garden if it were to happen that way,
yeah,
like a different route to get into 2-2. But at the same time, I think they would have signed for 2-2.
yeah. It's more of a
Because-
momentum thing at this point. Like
Right,
you don't want to go
exactly.
down, or you don't want to blow a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
where you're then 2-2.
Yeah, but if this becomes a best of 3, then it is what it is. But for now, it's just this game to me. I'm not going to say it's house money for the Knicks, but it has the feel of like, I mean, look, Boston, you could kind of take this game if you want it, like,
Yeah,
but try to take it,
I mean, it's far more important for Boston to not go down 3-0.
Yeah.
Right. I think the thing that makes me nervous about it is if you lose this game and you're the Knicks, then this gives Boston more life.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
can do more with just a little bit of life than I think any team.
Oh,
and
you
that's
don't
what's
want to lose.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want to show like look, if you're a great team, you have to step on like anything like that happening. But Cleveland, for example, got healthy and the door got open for them, and then they took care of business in Indiana.
Yeah,
And to me, that series is like now it's live. And if Cleveland wins the next game, that's where it's like, oh, okay, now as someone who had Cleveland in 6 and in 7, I'm like, okay, we're back.
yeah, because
You know
it's
what
a
I
better
mean?
team, and then you need to win 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3, and they have 2 out of 3 at home.
Yeah,
Right.
Whereas for this series, it's funny because like you could argue these are the two like most like supportive, diehard fan bases in the NBA.
Mhm.
But I don't think home court matters that much because both teams are very good on the road.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Boston's been better on the road in the playoffs.
Playoffs.
lately,
they have
the last couple seasons.
for years, yeah. And with the Knicks, like they were better on the road against Detroit. They won all the road games.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
haven't lost a road
They
game
lost
this
2
playoffs.
home games. Like,
Yeah.
And the Knicks, even during the regular season, they were one of the better road teams in the league.
Yeah.
Boston too.
This is big though. You get Cat back in now. You just want to finish this quarter strong. Is the
Agreed.
biggest thing.
Mhm.
Agreed. Get it back
Look,
to around 10 or
Post
under
up
10.
Cat immediately. Oh, that
Cat's
was pretty
gotta-
good. That was
Cat's gotta
pretty good
finish
defense.
that.
Yeah.
Tatum-
Precious
Because they're
and
not
True
gonna
get
call
minutes
that.
here, which is
Yeah.
interesting. Precious
It's a little bit more switchy.
No Mitch. I
The
wonder if he goes back to. I assume he will at some point, but I think it's because he didn't want to do Cat and Mitch. He probably wanted to do Cat and Precious, who could switch more cleanly than Mitch
the
could.
pass.
Nice.
Excellent pass by OG.
I think they want that
Hart went to the
other.
locker room temporarily. He's back on the bench now.
Yeah.
That might be part of the reason for Precious being in here.
Yeah, because I feel like Hart just doesn't sit.
I think Precious works in this series because he can switch. I don't. Okay. All right, Jalen. Yeah, he got fouled. All right.
He just ran into a wall.
Yeah.
Who's that on though?
I think OG.
Honestly, it's not good if it's on either of them.
Yeah.
Like at this point,
actually. 2 on
Cat.
Mm.
let's get it.
Yeah,
to
I thought it was going to be on OG.
Let's somehow get it to Achua.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I guess that's not what I meant. Like,
Let's see. So Cat bumps him. OG is there. I guess it was Cat on
it
the
had
bump.
to be Cat on the bump. Yeah.
It's because of how he did it, I guess. He just kind of stuck his chest out or whatever. But, a little ticky-tack for the playoffs. But it is what it is. They've called a couple ticky-tack things. I'm trying to see who's in the crowd because, today, I mean.
So now you got to have Mitch come in.
Yeah, here he comes.
Yeah, here comes Mitch.
So Mitch with Precious.
Mitch and Precious.
That's a gross lineup.
Have we seen this we've seen it in regular season? We've seen this in postseason. No. Mitch and Precious? No.
Tibbs looks at this as a necessity.
I don't like this lineup offensively. You said it's gross. I don't like it at all.
Although defensively, I'm intrigued.
I would just dribble the ball, the air out of the ball if I was the Knicks.
Yeah.
These couple of possessions. Just stretch this out as long as you can.
Try to create clean looks, efficient shots.
Yeah.
Cat's actually played, I thought, other than the fouls, pretty well.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a blow, but it's also still too early.
That's nice.
A good shot.
Yeah. That's too easy. The Celtics not gonna like that.
It just helps you get out of the mud when Brunson does a little bit of that.
I was very high on him coming out of Villanova. I was like, oh, he's gonna be like a legit because obviously I would gravitate to his game for obvious reasons.
Yes,
but
short guy, tough.
But in Villanova, I'm like, yo, how? He's only not a first round pick because of his size. I'm like, he's gonna be good. He's gonna start. I didn't think he was gonna be the Knicks' second best point guard ever.
Nobody did. I thought he was going to be a good NBA player too, though.
Even remember when we were talking about?
Come on the other side.
Remember when we were talking about Dex before? It was before when they were getting him, and it was telegraph, and it was yo, people were why are you talking about Brunson so much? Why are they overpaying for him? And all these different things. And at the time, I kind of got where people were coming from. Even I was kind of yo, we're talking about this dude a lot. I like him, but is he going to be that? And then,
okay, Precious,
we'll take that.
He's earned every dollar.
At the time, I thought it was a fair pay. I was like, if he becomes a league average point guard, an average starting point guard, especially coming off what the Knicks had before, they had Alfred Payton before.
Oh yeah, that was the worst.
So I thought I'm like, yo, this is a fair pay. Good foul.
Oh man, thank God that ain't going.
Yeah.
It's like a prayer.
So I was like, look, if he becomes a solid starting point guard, he's obviously been more than solid, but if he becomes solid, I was saying if he become used in career comp, and I said this at the time, Mike Conley-ish, you'll take that.
Yeah.
I said, you'll take that. And that's fair pay for what they paid him. And he's vastly exceeded that.
He's an all-NBA guard.
Yeah, Mike Conley is a borderline all-star.
How many
point
years
guard.
was
Fine. That was fine.
The Knicks didn't have the same starting point guard for what? It was 10 years or something like that?
Yeah.
It was Chris Duhon,
Raymond Felton,
who was actually one of the
better.
That was one of the better ones.
Raymond Felton's one of the better point guards, starting point guards in Knicks history.
Yeah, which is crazy. Charlie Ward, Howard Isley.
Yeah.
Ron Baker.
It was
oh my God, Ron Baker.
Shout
out to you, Ron Baker.
He had a cult fan base for obvious reasons. Oh, Kemba Walker
That's
also.
Nice.
Yeah.
God, just put that in though.
He wanted to pass to
Mitch again. Come on, Deuce. Oh my God, the Knicks have had so many shots go in and out.
That's great.
Precious Achua.
Let's
go, Precious.
Foul on Tatum too.
Okay. I was about here. We were out here killing these Precious and Mitch lineups.
I know. They're cooking.
They're cooking on the glass.
Well, I liked it from a defensive standpoint. That includes rebounding, even though this was on offense.
This reminds me of last year's Knicks, where they just couldn't generate any offense.
But
it was off the
rebounds,
glass.
all off the glass. Yeah. You know what, man? Mitchell Robinson's been so good on the glass, man. It's been so good. He's got to have 4 offensive rebounds already.
But as long as Boston can't shoot him off the floor, he's going to be effective in the paint.
It feels like he's got a lot more.
Because he's tipped a lot. That's helped.
Yeah.
So that's
here's another one.
That's the Tyson Chandler,
Foul on the floor on Porzingis.
This is where he's got to hit some free throws.
Yeah.
Because you got to make him pay for this. If the Knicks can get him to hit 2, it's a 12-point game.
I think this is Boston's biggest first quarter lead of the series.
Might be, yeah.
If it ends at 14.
I look at that what Porzingis
Two
said.
fouls though for him.
Yeah,
Porzingis?
and he didn't have energy on that box out. You could see that right there. He got beat.
Yeah, he's not gonna play that much.
Yeah, he's sweating like it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
he's
he's sweating it out.
and he's holding his knees. His hands are on his knees. Come on, Mitch.
You gotta make one.
This is the thing. Like, if this is the other thing that kills him. If he does this, another air ball.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, another one, Mitch. He's 0 for 4 in this game, and it's been getting worse because he had a 2 in and outs, the miss before this, and this one where it's just
It's in his head.
like you're not even hitting the controller properly, bro. Like,
He's so bad at them. I don't know why he doesn't just shoot him Granny style.
yeah,
Honestly.
give it a shot.
It can't be worse.
Oh,
Not too
that's
far.
a bad pass. Jesus.
Steal.
Go, go, go.
Oh, that's out of bounds.
Ugh.
Yo, Precious is giving some good minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's hustling.
Joe Budden spotted him in the
I
background.
saw him.
I'd be looking to see
I'm full force today.
Timothy Chalamet a couple
Everybody's
minutes ago.
out.
Oh,
That's a killer.
that's a good shot.
Peyton Pritchard.
he's a little shit, bro. I'm telling you.
You hate him, but if he's on your team, you love him.
Yo,
Yeah.
did you see? Like he pays dudes like other basketball players
I
to
heard
play him 1-on-1 during the off season as part of his workout. Like
random dudes.
like random overseas basketball players, like pretty good players, like in different teams and like overseas, and they'll come in and he'll use them as like sparring partners. Like they'll just play 1-on-1 and rotate or whatever.
Huh.
And like, yo, not for nothing, you've seen him get better over the years. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
No,
that shit kinda works.
I respect Peyton Pritchard. Like
Yeah.
he's annoying,
But
but
he's
I
a little
respect him.
shit. Like,
He is a little shit. He is for sure.
and
All
I
right.
say that endearingly because he's growing on me a lot.
Yeah,
I
because
like
you would
him.
like a little shit.
Yeah.
You like
yeah.
you like
Short
him.
Kings.
Yeah.
Short
Exactly.
Kings. There we
Yeah.
go. All right, Knicks are down 16. I still feel like
It doesn't feel like 16.
No, it feels like the Knicks are much closer.
if they
It
can
feels like 8 or 10.
now,
Yeah.
to me, the second quarter is about getting this to 10-ish, surviving his second quarter.
They've come back from like 16-ish at halftime. But I know what you mean. You don't want to keep having to.
Yeah. You got to trim it down a little bit.
This is a big quarter to me. Like Mikal, OG got to step up offensively. It's funny because I feel like the Knicks have played pretty good defense. I gotta look, what is Celtics shooting? 57% from the field.
That's what it is. Yeah.
57% from the field.
Yep.
See, that's something that Boston hasn't done in this series at all.
And they're
Like,
6 of 7 from downtown.
6 of 7 from downtown. But you
And
know
they've-
what? That's low considering like they're
The
gonna
amount of
shoot.
volume that they
That's 28
have. Yeah.
threes in a game, like on average. They're gonna shoot way more threes, but they're actually showcasing a more balanced attack this time. 1/3 of their shots are from 3. Usually more than half of them are from 3.
Yeah.
So these are things the Knicks have to account for. As
They're
they
getting
move
into the
forward.
interior really well
Yeah,
today.
like Boston's
Yep,
not
they
gonna here, like this is the catch-22 right here. Boston is not gonna continue to shoot 86% from 3. However, they're also gonna shoot more threes.
Right.
So like this is what the Knicks have to account for. Also, like their offense is balanced right now, just from a scoring distribution standpoint.
Yeah.
Like everyone's contributing.
I
right
mean,
now.
you can't be giving up points in the paint and on the perimeter
Yeah.
like the way that New York is right now. I mean, 6 for 7 from 3. You got to do a little bit better than that.
Yep.
Some of the shots have admittedly not like that was an open shot right there, but some of them have been a little bit more contested. Like the Derek White 3 was
Derek
a little
White
bit more
3.
contested.
Even the second Tatum 3 where,
Yeah.
you know, Mitch got out there a little bit
yeah,
late.
yeah, and Tatum hesitated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celtics are also 8 of 8 from the line. Knicks 3 of 9. Now, a lot of that's Mitch Robinson.
Over
It's 0
4, yeah.
Right? Outside of that, they're 3 of 5.
Who
which
was
you
the
live
other
with.
two?
It's open.
All Towns and Precious.
Precious.
Who also Precious is not the best free throw shooter either.
Yeah.
And you see
That's
some
why
of
you
the-
can't play both of them.
Right. Yeah.
And you see some of this with the Knick offense because when Brunson's got it and kicked it out to Precious to the corner, he's been unwilling to shoot.
Sure.
And it's like he's not confident. You know, that was something I thought with his game. He needs to get a corner 3. That's where things get a little. It's gonna be interesting what lineup they go to here. There's gonna be a lot of minutes for Mitch Robinson to start this quarter.
Celtics
Yeah.
also pulled ahead in the rebounding battle. It's 13-10 now. But
Knicks
the
still have to keep it in that range.
The Knicks still have the offensive boards 5-3.
Well, Boston's also not missing.
Yeah,
So,
right.
you know,
There's not a lot of chances for rebound.
Yeah.
Right, to your point. Right. That's the thing. So we'll see.
Dexter's try. I'm not gonna name the restaurant, but if you're watching, you know the commercial. But you've mentioned that you were very
Underwhelmed.
yeah.
did
Yeah,
you hear-
I wouldn't say disappointed because your expectations weren't like
No.
sky high, but a place that specializes in a certain food, you would think that they're going to be good at making that certain food.
You think so?
Yeah, I haven't had it, honestly, but I did hear Shane Gillis was talking about that specific commercial, and he was like, I knew that's what they did in the limos.
He's my favorite comedian.
He's so funny,
yeah.
man.
I went to go see him actually not far from here at Radio City.
I think you told me that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went. Me and Ashley went, and he was hilarious. It was the week he was on SNL actually.
Oh okay.
Oh, nice.
So he did like a couple of the same jokes, but like he did like longer versions of them, and then he did some other new stuff. And it was really good. One of his openers.
We got campaign minutes here.
One of his openers was risky.
What is going on?
Ooh, that could have been a violation.
That was a full campaign experience.
Yeah.
I feel like
One possession.
Campaign stopped his dribble 5 times on that possession.
I wanted to take his over.
I thought about it too.
He was another one that was over under half a three, and I was like, you know what?
This does feel like for a comeback, the Knicks are going to need some kind of
They need
role
something.
player that hasn't maybe given them a spark like the Payne or McBride.
Honestly,
here to do
even
it.
Cat, like the way
Oh, that's too easy.
Good defense.
That's good help. Yeah.
Oh, ball.
he read that one
Mitch
wrong.
went straight up there.
Yeah,
Shot clock violation? Okay.
It's a turnover.
a little funky.
See, that was Jalen Brown needs to do a floater there. Mitch was like just great help defense in that spot.
Zavano says they have life now. I think he's talking about the Celtics seeing threes go in. I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
Everyone has to get involved.
We'll find out in the fourth quarter.
Campaign, big shot.
It's campaign time.
Mitch again.
Yeah. Luke
That's
Cornett.
it's just an auto foul.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. If he's in that deep, Luke Cornett's just like, all right.
He's killing them, though.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, if he's just gonna keep doing it, he's gonna put you in the bonus immediately.
Yeah.
See, and that does benefit other players, right? I
Yeah.
think that's the part of it you don't think enough about. You hit on that in the last game, and that's where Tibbs did a good thing with pulling OG back in the last game.
You
which was
saw
like,
Luke
all right.
Cornett after he like shooting
Yeah.
foul.
I
Like
don't-
he's trying to say it's a shooting foul.
I'd almost rather they start every quarter with Mitch. Oh, they did call it a shooting foul.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather they start Mitch playing every quarter and then try to force that
Oh,
issue of the.
This is brutal, bro.
The fans
Of
are
the
trying
bonus.
to cheer him on.
This is like cheering for the 12th man in high school.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
the make a
Like-
wish.
Like to try to make the free throw. Like
Mitch
I mean-
Robinson's a career 34% playoff shooter.
that's abysmal.
He's got Ben Stiller and Spike Lee out their seats trying to cheer on a free throw.
You talk about the Celtics 3-point.
There
we
we
go.
go.
The arc didn't look good, but it went in.
My man
That-
John Stark's in the building.
We got to talk
Oh.
about Mitchell Robinson free throw variants.
Watch him hit like his next 6 in a row. I hope so for him.
He has 6 attempts already. That's crazy.
Oh,
Oh, my goodness.
Campaign almost
Yo,
came over the steal.
campaign took something. He had a Celsius.
Rotate,
before the game or
rotate,
something.
campaign. Saw that. Good close.
Ooh.
Mitchell.
See,
great
those are the threes you want if you're the Knicks.
at
That's a
foul.
foul.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're fine with the.
Is that their 4th foul? Or third?
It's a lot
It's
already.
third already, I believe.
You're
It's
fine
about
with
time
Boston
for Mitch
taking
to come
step.
out.
You're fine with Boston taking step back threes. I think if you're the Knicks.
I like your strategy about starting him every quarter because if he's going to dominate the glass view is dope.
Leave it
If he does it and they're going to hack him, it's also dope because it gets you in the bonus early. So
right away.
Yeah.
Jackie Ray says y'all look professionally concerned.
hey, hey, Jackie, that's the Jackie's
That
on
is a
me.
funny phrase.
Professionally concerned. I got to use that, Jackie. Professionally concerned.
I'm chilling.
There we go.
And don't worry, says Mitchell Robinson is horrible, but he did finally get one in. LOL. Not a horrible basketball player, but pretty horrible free throw shooter. Oh, speaking of horrible.
Oh, get that out of here.
Oh, come on.
They called a foul?
That air ball from Jalen Brown will be under
Brutal, man.
discussed, but he has those every now and again.
Shoot it with his left hand.
I don't know. Okay, so what happened?
It looked
here?
like Mitch got held on that, trying to get the rebound to be.
I don't
unfair.
even know if there was a foul anyway.
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I wouldn't have called it either way.
Luke Cornett, former 3-point shooter with the Knicks, stopped shooting them since he got
Once
the
a Nick, always a Nick.
I know, yeah. He had the same PR people as Jared Allen when Jared Allen was with the Nets. They may still, but Luke Cornett is shout out to him for making a
Mitch
career
getting
out
a
of
nice
himself.
hand coming off
Yeah.
the court. Cat's back in.
He's one of those dudes that could have easily been at Alba Berlin by now, but he's still in the NBA and a rotation player on like the title favorites.
Knicks have to try to win these minutes without Brunson against who do we got? We got Brown, Holiday, and the Celtics bench.
Oh,
That's a good closeout.
I mean, it's a decent foul there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. He had the look too.
Yeah,
That's not a take foul. Luke.
no chance.
Look at this. That's good defense.
It's a good block.
No, he just got tripped up.
That was crazy to fight over that screen like that. To be able to get
Yeah,
the block.
like
That's
look
great
at
effort
this.
there by Jalen Brown.
Ooh.
Damn, that's good.
Need a quicker release, Mikhail. If he goes with the floater, that doesn't happen.
No.
But he's a little far out. It's fine. Easier said than done.
ISO Jalen Brown.
All right, here comes Cat.
ISO Jalen Brown, excuse me.
Couldn't get Cat on the switch. They're trying though.
Trying so hard. I mean,
Ooh, that could have been a landing
come
spot.
on.
Damn, Bridges didn't
That's the
even move for
defense that you want too.
Jalen Brown doesn't often have the most graceful touch. Yeah,
Ugh.
I didn't like that.
That's brutal.
Good pass. Knicks now down 19.
So the 20-point comeback was plus 3,500.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
You probably should have.
Yeah, at this point.
I thought you were going to when you sent it to me. I was like, he's going to play all four of them.
Oh, man. This is not the start the Garden faithful wanted.
Not too surprised. Again, it's the second. I'm going to keep saying it. It's like, not to say, like, please keep watching. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want y'all to go away.
No,
but
keep.
you could kind of wake me when the fourth quarter is here. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
unless by then, if it's a 30-point game, then all right.
You got to put Brunson in and just get it down. Just cut this lead
Just
down.
cut it
a
in
bit.
half.
Yeah.
And my thing is, how do the Celtics, if the Knicks start coming back, how do they start acting? Like,
Yeah.
how do they start responding? Because they're like, yo, we're here again.
The Knicks are going to have a run at some point.
Yeah.
They're going to. And Boston has to prove to everyone, including themselves, that they can do what they did in the regular season and just play keep away with the lead.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's really it.
The one thing I'll say that Bryan's been saying throughout the series now, 3 games in, is like, I'm not surprised at this with the Celtics. This has been in their DNA. We've seen them do this before. We've seen them blow leads before. The Knicks are gritty. I think the Knicks will respond here. They haven't been able to get in the flow. I think Cat not being on the floor as much hurts them.
Yeah.
Because they need that offensive spacing. This has not been a particularly good Josh Hart game. I want to make sure the numbers back that up for me. Josh Hart, 0-4 from the field, 0-2 from downtown.
We're worried about him.
Yeah, that's
Rebounds,
not good.
assists, and I took him over 12.5 points.
I stayed away. I
0
was
for
like,
4 from the field is tough.
For him, yeah, he's not finishing attacking
He's
right
getting
now.
blocked a couple times.
Yeah.
Payne Pritchard, I need 1 more 3 and 2 more 3s for the sprinkle.
I think Mitchell Robinson might have. He's a rebound shot of what I need from him already. He's at 4, so feel good about that. Just need
He's gonna get that. Yeah.
no assists from Mikal Bridges thus far, and I had him over 3.5 in that combined parlay. So it's still time, and Bridges sometimes does a little bit of his cooking late. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
All right, tough times. How's everybody feeling in the chat?
Someone tweeted the Knick game is about to start.
That is an all-time.
That's
great
awesome.
Tweet. That's an all-time great tweet. That is a great tweet.
Yeah, but if you're rooting for the Knicks, I get it. How could you not feel this way? You know,
Yeah.
like after seeing the first 2 games, and not even just that, but Dex has referenced this. Like, Boston has done this.
Yeah.
We saw the Heat series. We saw the Warriors series. Like, you know, it predates Joe Mazzulla, but like the Tatum and Brown experience, that's just been part of it.
The irony of it, though, is everybody kept saying, Boston, they're just going to keep shooting the threes. They're going to keep shooting the threes. That's not really what they're doing today. They are doing something a little bit different from an offensive perspective. The threes happen to be like all going in, but from an offensive perspective, they're getting in the paint, they're attacking the rim, and that's really where they're punishing New York. So, this is a change, even coaching-wise, schematically from Mazzulla, that is different than what they've done previously.
Yeah, and I wanna rewatch it also before next game just to see what these adjustments were, especially if they hold. Like, we'll see if that ultimately drives them to victory or not. But yeah, the offense is definitely more balanced, which I didn't expect it to be this balanced.
No,
but I still think they're gonna get their 3-point volume. But right now what they're doing is working, and the Knicks have also been in some foul trouble. So.
Yeah.
a lot of the greats: Bill Bradley, Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston. I know not everyone will consider Marbury a Knick great, but he's there as well.
He's a New York basketball legend.
He's a
Starberries,
New York basketball legend, and he's one of the better Knicks of the last 20 years. But I get it. That era was very not this.
What was that?
Up and down.
This bridge is fading away there.
Who's the most underrated Knick great, if we want to call it that? Like the guy who, like, they showed Allen Houston, and to me, I feel like he might be the answer.
The most underrated
I
Knick
love
great?
Allen Houston.
Like, he might be the most underrated, underappreciated to me just because of the contract. But people forget, like, multiple-time All-Star, gold medalist, best player on the finals team.
Has an iconic Knick moment.
Yeah.
Multiple game winners in the playoffs.
And
honestly, could have been an All-Star more than twice. And if not for injuries.
most underrated Knick great.
Oh,
I
almost.
feel like I don't have a good answer for that.
I really don't. I think some older folks might tell you Bill Bradley. I like this. I like this. Oh,
I think some older folks might tell you Bernard King doesn't get his due. But
I think in his time he was known.
But in his time,
I think
yeah.
it's just as time
Historically,
goes on.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Sometimes you're looking at things
Over 1.5.
There
All
you
right.
go.
Knicks are down 22.
There's the 20. Now the game's gonna start. Look, and Boston, by the way, that's their first make in their last 5 attempts from 3. So it's cooling a little bit, but the Knicks haven't been able to take advantage yet.
No.
Cass posting up Horford. That actually was working last game.
1 for 9 from 3 is
They're going
also
to
just...
it. Cat on Horford. Help from Holiday.
Get
And
in.
one.
There you go. That's a
Needed
big
something
basket.
from him.
No, not the thumb. Not the thumb.
That looks like, it looks like it's the thumb. So what's the latest on? Is it still bothering him? Evidently,
Yeah. He said he got hit right on it by Holiday.
He felt the sting, like, delayed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He said he was saying at the end of the season that he was fine.
It's going to be one of those as soon as they're eliminated or if they win the title that he needs surgery.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it's going to go.
So I think that with Jalen Brown's knee, maybe Tatum's wrist, Cat's thumb, like, there's all these press release injuries, like early July, late June. Oh, by the way, this person had a successful procedure. They're expected to be ready by the start of training camp.
Yeah.
Like,
he's still wincing on it too.
we've got some off-season surgery candidates, unfortunately. Knock on wood, though. We don't
really hurt.
We don't want too many NBA players going under the knife. That shit is not
I hope
fun.
he's okay. He's really hurting him.
That affects a lot, man. He missed how much time due to that during the regular season?
A couple games. Good D, OG.
It's a few games, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a few games.
Oh, love that. That's
out.
the second time the Celtics have kind of messed up.
Did he say?
I mean,
He's not broken.
No, it wasn't broken.
Oh,
No. It wasn't a break.
he's trying to read his
It
lips.
was like a sprain, if I remember.
I don't mean to scare anybody.
Hope it's
Oh.
not broken.
Don't listen to me.
Well, I don't know. I think you talking about if he had said it before. Good pass.
Oh, what a pass.
And one.
Funny. I thought he was actually going to pull that in front of KP because KP was dropping a little bit.
Yeah.
Beginning to.
I mean, I told you guys the game begins when they're down 20.
Early timeout.
You're right.
Game begins.
We
when they're down
needed
20.
to get there.
Jackie Ray here says Cat's not okay. Yeah, he doesn't look right, man. He doesn't look
No,
right.
he's holding that thumb like
that thumb, and I hope not broken, because he had
When
had
it's a nagging injury like that, it doesn't really go away if you just keep playing.
No.
Like, that's the tough thing. But
I mean,
it's the playoffs. You got
he's
to play.
flying around like a maniac as it is.
All right, Josh Hart. Cat didn't want to touch the rim there for multiple
You
reasons too.
saw that
don't
he
you?
held his thumb back.
Yeah.
It looked like too a little bit.
Yep.
You got to tape that up at halftime, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if this is a good time to hit that Knicks money line.
What's
You know
the
what I'm saying? Like,
price? What's
they,
the price?
They went down 20.
I'll tell you right now.
You know,
I'm about to have to look.
I'll tell you right now. It is plus 1,000 on DK.
I think we might have to.
The line is 15.5. I think I might play Knicks plus 15.5 live.
Yeah, that 15. Well, honestly, I think I'd rather cut it down like a little bit lower, like maybe plus 10, because they're either going to stay close or it's just going to be a blowout.
I agree. It's either going to be 10 or 30.
Yeah, like it's 10 or
right,
30.
so go down
10
a
or
little bit
25,
more. Right. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Plus 1,000 for that Knicks money line if you're interested, folks. Like I said, they now have a little 5-0 run. We'll see if they can push that to more. Right now they are down.
Yeah, plus 9.5 is
17.
plus 240.
CC Sabathia is there too, by the way. I did see that actually.
Love that guy.
You're a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
It's
the only way.
Well,
we're both Mets
it's
fans.
not.
Well,
Which look, we don't have to be ashamed to say we're Mets fans today.
I don't hate myself.
I've never been ashamed. There's only one team I rooted for a while that I was ashamed of my fandom for the team.
That is true. Same
but
for me.
I've never.
But we both turned in our cards. You turned to the Steelers, which makes sense because you got some Pittsburgh ties. Ties, having gone to college there. And for me, I just gave up on an NFL team altogether, and I was like, whoever's on my fantasy team, that's who I'm rooting for.
It's Team Bryan win fantasy. That's what it is.
I don't
know. Who's your NFL team?
The Giants.
You're a Giants fan.
Yeah.
Did you like what they did in the draft?
I did. I did.
Yeah.
I feel like you took the best player available with Carter. At number 3. I think you could argue he's the best player in the draft.
I think you can.
So I'm cool with that. I think it's weird that he wanted like Lawrence Taylor's
That's
number.
what I'm saying. We talked about this.
It's weird to me.
Last week. I think you shouldn't ask for somebody's jersey's numbers retired.
No, I think it's one thing. Like if you have an established career, like who did they do this with? Was it did Aaron Rodgers do this or somebody like where you come to a team after you've been with it somewhere else for years, or Barkley, whatever it is? It's like you go there and then you've established a career with a particular number.
That's
and you're
different.
Like, hey, like I want this.
That's
depending on the player.
Yeah, but I mean you're a rookie. We've seen even if you're a top pick, a lot of them flame out. So imagine he wants Lawrence Taylor's number. Arguably
that was part of Brian's point.
Like arguably the greatest defensive player ever, and you want his number? I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to even ask.
See, I agree with you. We had this one of our editors who was here, who's not here today. He was like, "No, you got to ask." I'm like, "No, I think it's crazy. I think it's disrespectful to ask."
Yeah,
I do too. That's what I was saying.
I like that Lawrence Taylor was like, "No." I love that he was like, "No." I love that he was like, "Nah."
Listen, once the Knicks retire like Jalen Brunson's number, and then 20 years from now, somebody like, let's say Josh Hart Jr., you know what I mean, is an NBA player asking for Jalen Brunson's number. If I'm Jalen Brunson, I'm going to be like, no, get out of here.
No, I don't care if the Knicks have some kid who wears 33 throughout high school and comes, he wants Patrick Ewing's number, get out of here.
Yeah.
No.
Like, even if the Knicks somehow, like, just this isn't going to happen, but if they got Cooper Flag and he was like, yo, I want 33.
Defense by the Knicks.
Yeah.
Then you tell him, like, no. Like,
I mean, it's one thing like the Yankees, for example. The Yankees have everybody's number retired. Like, you're running out of numbers. You're running out of numbers.
So do you think someday somebody's going to be like, yo, man, I need that number 2? And how are you going to feel about that?
That's the thing. I don't think you can do it. They're going to have to start putting letters or something.
I think
like
42A, 2B.
Or just add a third digit.
Which is going to look crazy.
You know?
But we're going to get there at some point.
They're going to retire Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're going to retire Aaron Judge.
For sure.
Stanton, ?
If they win,
if they win one with him,
they win one with him, yeah. His playoffs have been insane.
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. He's better than Judge in the playoffs.
Oh, that thumb is fine.
Oh,
did they not call it? Or did they call it? Oh, they didn't count it.
No way. Why?
Let's see.
Nah,
that's not the angle.
It's above the cylinder.
That's not the angle I need to see, but I mean, all right.
They could have argued. It could have gone the other way. It could have been goaltending. Tatum's hand was on the rim.
I'm glad somebody else is with me. Dev is in. Says, Dexter, we're down 20, so you know what that means. It's comeback time. It's comeback season, people.
But not yet. In the second half.
In 20 and whatever. It doesn't matter. It's comeback season.
Cut it down to 10 by halftime. And
good pass.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Jesus, that block.
Uh-oh.
Not great.
Yeah,
that's a terrible swing.
That's a tough swing.
Because also they could have had the momentum.
They had momentum. You had the dunk that didn't get called. You get that.
Hey, remember last game there was a dunk that didn't get called, and that helped spark the Knicks too. So
true.
We'll see.
Look, they're going to go on a run inevitably. It's just a matter of like.
Oh, it's comeback season already.
What is it out at?
And one.
What is it at that point?
Thank you.
Finally.
Brunson's had
a solid game. He's shot that
he's
much.
Putting up some shots.
How many attempts has he had? Six instead of half his shots.
We need more.
Yeah, I know. We do.
Oh, he'll get there.
Yeah, true.
I'm glad Joe is with us on the you can't be asking for people's numbers and just
No, I think it's crazy.
And listen, I respect the Yankees. One thing I'll say about retired numbers, and Bryan and I have had this conversation. I respect when there's a standard.
Yeah,
Like,
I think we were saying even the Knicks have a standard.
Yeah,
There's other numbers.
There has
they
to
can
be a
retire that they
standard to me
haven't.
for retired numbers.
Yeah.
I respect that. Like,
you got to be a legend. You probably got to win it. You probably got to win a title.
or get to the finals.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know, like
and if you don't win a title, you have to like, if you got to the biggest stage, or you have to have like legendary numbers.
Oh,
God.
that's a killer.
he hasn't even come close to hitting anything like that.
I
in
know.
the series.
Yeah, he's starting to feel
Good
it. He's
pass.
for three. That's a
What a Derek
Derek
White's
White,
so good at that.
best
Man.
shot blocking guard in the NBA.
That's tough.
I don't mind that shot from Bridges.
No, especially in that moment.
He just loves fading away. Like he's never set.
Yeah, that's. And if you look at his possessions, the last game where he was really
What
good,
is that?
he wasn't fading away. Why double there?
Pritchard plus 300 to make three threes.
There it is.
All right, whatever. It's back up to 22.
All right, I got my
Comeback
Pritchard
season to
vest.
start again.
Next
22.
game started again.
That was a little quick, Jalen.
Still on the foot.
Yeah,
That's a stupid
you bailed
foul.
him
It's a
out.
bad
That's
foul.
You
three.
yeah.
bailed him
Yeah.
out,
300%.
KP. That was a dumb foul. It's tough.
Slow the Knicks down a little bit.
Dev says that shot. I think he's talking about.
Ooh,
That was a good block.
what a block.
That's crazy. block,
Derek White
yeah.
is so good.
That's also very hard to do without fouling, guys.
Yeah, you ever look at that Derek
And as a
White
guard.
trade? Like,
What was the trade again?
We were
What's my
talking about
favorite
this the
play?
last game. They traded him for
peanuts?
who's the guy though?
I'm
Who's
gonna,
the?
I'm gonna check.
It's a guy who actually ended up going to Miami, and I don't know why I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
Really?
I forget what it was, but I was looking at it the other day, and it was absolutely insane.
What is it?
Josh
Oh,
Richardson.
Josh Richardson.
Yeah,
Josh Richardson,
Yeah.
Romeo Langford, a first-round pick in 2022, and a first-round swap.
And I remember reading at the
Just-
time, some people were like, "Oh, they shouldn't give that first round pick." What?
Look at this from Celtics.
it's insane.
Look at this from Celtics blog of 2022. The Derek White trade is a disaster.
That aged well.
Brad Stevens made his first major mistake as a GM.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that person should like have wrote an apology for that. I hope. like they should just
His
if
name
they
is
wrote
Neil. He
if
probably
Neil-
works with, he probably works with what's her name? Noah. Goddamn.
If-
Noah's not watching, so she won't be offended.
Noah's at the game.
She's at the game.
if Neil if
Sorry,
Neil,
Noah.
if
Tell her to
Neil
her face
apologized
later.
for it, I respect it. Oh, it's a good finish.
Tough finish. Yeah.
The homie Jackie Ray says more than 20 at the half is going to make me nervous. Real King says we are close.
get
The
that.
Celtics are
Yeah.
going to be rattled.
I get that. You'd much
You
rather
gotta-
like 12, something like that.
You just gotta cut it down a little bit here.
I think
How's
that's
that not
No
a foul?
foul?
How's that not a foul?
He went up out of control, I guess. He looked like he was trying to avoid the contact. I felt like he could have gotten more contact there. Oh, that could have been a walk. Good shot.
Ooh.
Nice.
That's what you need, though. You need your stars to
Hit shots.
step up too.
Yeah. This thumb might be okay.
I want to see some more Carlton Towns attacking Al Horford like
Watch
he
Derek
did.
White in the corner. Watch Derek
There's-
White in
there
the
it
corner.
comes.
He's there.
Cat's got to
They
watch.
swing
him.
it to Horford. He's throwing it to Derek White. Oh, what a dumb shot.
I agree.
What a bailout.
It's a
I
big
agree.
board.
Keep
because-
your eyes up, Jaylen
Yeah.
Brown. Jeez.
They bailed the Knicks out there.
Yeah.
Get-
Oh. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's wet. That's great.
It was an in rhythm shot.
Tracy Morgan.
He did the step back like, are you sure you're not gonna guard me?
Nobody's
out
gonna
here?
jump. All right.
Oh, you can't let him walk into dog.
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
Can't let him walk into
Listen,
dogs.
I give Tatum a lot of shit, but I give him
He's
credit.
but he's been good in big games.
He,
He's been
he
great in
has
big
bounced
games.
back performances. He's had bigger games than
Yep.
given credit for. That's
Yeah, that's tough.
Got to set yourself up. Like Tatum has had some silencers, you know.
Oh yes.
Some big games on the road. And you can't, like, if he's feeling it like this, like, you're going to have to gamble.
OG
like, yo.
was so worried
Yeah.
about the screen.
And Cat was like, I'm not going to. Cat is in no man's land because it's like, yo, what am I going to do? Come up so that
Yeah.
he could drive and, like,
Well, Tatum's like peak temperamental too. When he's feeling it,
He's
he's
on, yeah.
on.
and he'll take the shots and make a lot of them.
Yeah.
Knicks. I'm looking at these turnovers in this game for the Knicks.
I feel like that's a lot of stars nowadays in the NBA. too.
Yeah, he's just like constant heat check.
5. Yeah, there's been a lot of turnovers in this game. Knicks with 4, Celtics
Oh.
with 5.
What happened there? What's the call?
They get Knicks ball.
So Josh Hart grabs it.
They call foul, maybe.
Oh, on Tatum. It had to be a foul on Tatum because Josh
Yeah.
Hart had it last. He's shooting free throws. Yeah, because Tatum made contact with him on the way out. Makes sense. Low key, I feel like this first half's been taking a minute.
It has.
Yeah,
It's been
There's a lot of fouls. Not a lot of turnovers, but a lot of fouls.
A lot of fouls, a lot of commercials.
Not a lot of fast breaks. Not a lot of transition.
Mm-hmm.
They need free throws.
I mean, look, man, I'm still talking about comeback season. That's Steve Cohen? Steve Cohen's at the game.
Mets don't play until later.
That's right.
They have a doubleheader Sunday?
Or
no?
No,
they
played last night. They won last night.
Imagine if they played
Shows you how
doubleheader
much
basketball.
I saw last night.
They used to.
Basketball?
Back in the day.
Show you how much baseball I saw last night.
Doubleheader basketball would be absolutely.
I didn't even
insane.
check my fantasy baseball team until this morning.
I haven't played fantasy baseball in years.
I'm in first place in our league.
Are you?
Oh, man, they're hitting their threes,
Horford.
folks.
You know what the problem is? The Knicks are giving up the above the break three.
Yeah. And they're not moving threes. These guys, they're taking these shots. They're all really catch and shoot, which is a huge difference.
2 of 11 also.
That's not a good pass.
The 3-point disparity is a lot. This is
Missed it. Oh,
I thought he did
strong.
too.
I thought it went too strong out of his hand.
It's 23 now. Knicks got to start the game, bro.
I thought the game started a little while ago. Good pass.
Oh, good pass.
All right, the Josh Hart points not looking so bad now.
What you got now? 6?
6? Yeah, 6.
Oh, you're about halfway.
He's just always moving.
Always
Always. He's one of my favorite.
8 now. Sorry, that's 8.
I loved him in college too. And I thought he was underrated with the Lakers. And
This is what the Celtics
pull
want.
up again.
They want this.
He has this matchup, so
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Needed one of those.
A bit of a draft in the
But then you can't.
Oh my God! You gotta get that rebound.
And he missed another pass. Jalen Brown needs to watch film at halftime, bro. He's missing a lot of open cutters, guys at the corners.
I mean, you just can't bail him out like that.
This is clearly the next worst defensive half of.
Yeah.
But in a weird way of the postseason, but in a weird way, it doesn't even feel that bad defensively.
It feels like Boston's finally making shots.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not even that mad at
That's
their
not a good
defense.
thing either, but
No.
still.
But it was going to happen at some point too.
Yeah. Oh.
Bang that.
Oh, how's that not a foul?
There was contact there. How's that not a foul?
No, I thought the OG one because the contact with the offhand.
Maybe it was with the ball or something.
The contact with Al Horford's offhand. I
So
thought he was going to
Spike Lee is not. Listen, I've liked the physicality we've seen through these NBA playoffs. To be fair, I like that they've been letting a lot of stuff
2-for-1
go.
opportunity for Boston. Let's see if they take it. They're definitely taking it. Jalen Brown will make sure that they take it.
That's the thing. I mean, if Brown especially, if Brown's going to hit his threes, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
because Brown just doesn't hit threes even generally.
You want to talk about temperamental?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Good fake.
Oh, why are you rushing that though? Why is Jalen rushing that? They didn't have a 2-for-1. It was a 5-second difference. You didn't have a true 2-for-1 situation.
No.
Nope. Jackie Ray said more than 20 at the half is going to make her nervous. She's going to be nervous.
Yeah.
Because it's more than 20.
But again, even if you end up going down 2-1, you're still up 2-1. I mean,
that's a bad foul.
That made no sense.
That's a terrible foul.
Yeah. Why'd you foul there, Cat?
I flubbed that one.
That's a crazy foul.
Not the most reliable free throw shooter, but that's bad for Towns. He has 3 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
was real ticky-tacky, too.
Let's see.
It's a foul, though.
Yeah, he got caught up.
Too much body again. See, that's another thing Derek White does really well. And OG actually does this at times, too, where, just contesting without too much body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's such an uneasy, it's amazing to me that he has Finals MVP and Eastern Conference Finals MVP on his resume.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be having Jalen Brown as Hall of Famer discussions.
And then that's going to be the talk.
And it's going to, but then those of us who were truly there for every possession, we're going to be we can get to talk this one out a little bit. I'm not saying he's not going to be, but
Celtics fan in chat, Zav now says this is game. I'm Zav now. Sorry, you might not be a Celtics fan, but based on something you said before, it made me think you were.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's just calling it as he sees it, or she. To be fair.
Get in.
He
No foul either?
He flailed. He wasn't going to get that. They weren't going to give him that because he flailed too early.
Holiday was asking for that call.
The kick out.
25. Right? Celtics first half cashed. That was 3.5.
Wow.
What's the money line now for the Knicks?
Oh, it's got to be outrageous.
1,600, and the line is 20.5. 20.5 is kind of tempting.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
They're not showing enough defensively to make you feel.
And it's funny because I still don't feel like the Knicks are playing any worse defense
feel like
than
a
they
25
did.
point
No.
It doesn't. And Jackie Ray says they're working really hard to be down 25 points. They're going to be gassed by the fourth. Here's what I'll say.
Funny.
Just to keep the hope alive for the people. You got to give yourself new challenges in life, right?
25 now.
You did it from 20 in games 1 and 2. Now
did it
you're
from
bored with that.
15.
We've done that already.
From 15, then 20.
20,
Now you got
to do like a ladder bet. You know what I'm saying? You got to be like, okay, this is the new challenge. We're down 25.
I love
and
that.
we come back. That's got to be the mindset.
It's the only way.
Because here's the thing: if they get this even in the single digits, the Celtics will be like, "Oh shoot!"
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
And we're like, again, bro.
Again, we can't put these
And then
guys away.
Tatum is flailing around the mid range trying to get a call, but he can't get to the rim. And you just that's the key. The key is the third quarter, getting it to like 12. Which the problem is you still have to win the third quarter like forcefully.
You got to win the second half.
But I mean, that's what that's what it takes to come back from 25 down. Is you have to have a big run at some point.
At some point, for them, it has to happen.
Yeah.
You have to have like a 15-2 run and get you in the game.
Our homie Gerard Hector says Celtics still playing ugly offense, as you mentioned.
Yeah,
Making shots this afternoon. Sometimes that's it. I don't think the Knicks' defense has been bad here.
Yeah.
There's been some defensive lapses, but a lot of it, they're just making shots.
They're getting crushed. I wonder, the Celtics got to have 1 million second chance points because there's a lot of like putback opportunities where they're just getting bailed out, basically.
Offensive rebounds, Knicks lead 10-9.
Yeah. But I think a lot of
points
it's
off the rebounds.
Because I mean, Derek White alone, I think, has 6 putbacks today.
Right. And the problem is, actually,
or 6 points on putbacks. Yeah.
And the problem is, like, if Mitchell Robinson gets the rebound, I mean, he's not going right back up because he's either too far or they're fouling him.
Right.
Yeah.
The Knicks haven't capitalized enough off their offensive rebounds. That is a huge difference in the game. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to step aside. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break. We got to stretch our legs and possibly eat some food, drink some water, all that good stuff. We'll be back with the second half of the Knicks comeback. I'm calling it coming down from 25. I'm gonna hit that money line, people. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit that money line.
It's a tasty plus 1,600.
Maybe tasty until you lose it. Then you want to throw up.
Yeah,
like Tracy.
Bet
Morgan
responsibly.
Bet responsibly. All right, we'll be back after this halftime break. right, welcome back, everybody. 71-46, Knicks trailing at the start of the third quarter. We just had a conversation about Bryan deciding whether or not he wants to help children. That was funny. That's why I was laughing.
It wasn't that poorly.
That makes you sound bad the way I said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bryan loves the kids.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's not impossible that person I'm referring to may be watching. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it there.
That was funny.
Oh wow!
What a beautiful tap.
Of course.
The way you did one.
Of course.
Right to Derek White. Knicks down
All right.
28.
Is this the biggest Celtic lead of the series?
Yes, it is.
Probably, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
has to be.
Has to be.
New challenge.
Just makes the biggest comeback sweeter.
Derek White is 2 for 2 from 3. He's only taken 2. That's unbelievable. Yeah. I think they're gonna do
Jeez.
that.
Oh, no.
Did they hit his thumb?
No.
Probably.
Oh no.
See, this is an area where, like, if you're the Knicks,
Tips ain't what you thought they got to poll people?
no,
Oh,
if you're a teammate of Towns, you might have to send a receipt. you
Yeah.
know? Like,
I don't think this was a dirty foul by any means.
No, I think
it's a good foul.
I don't think so either. But
If this does start to, I mean, it is a little out of hand already, but like if it stays out of hand,
You got to wave the white flag and
Yeah,
get
you gotta-
ready for game 4.
you got to be ready to fire on some campaign props. This is what I'm saying.
Yo,
there's always
Hey,
a reason
man.
to watch.
hey man, that sounds like desperate times, but I hear what you're saying.
That's a deep cut,
That's a
but
deep cut.
I guarantee you right now you can get like 10 plus points at probably like plus 500.
There's always a reason to watch.
Checking out some stuff in the chat. Rob Rivera says, I knew Boston would play well, but I really expected the Knicks to play better. Also, and hold their own, but they're not playing well at all. The saga of really lazy, poor play at home continues. I mean, some of that's true, but some of that is the Celtics are a good team.
Yeah.
I know, Rob, you're saying that you expect them to play well. So I don't. The Knicks haven't played well at home throughout the playoffs. Just want to say that. They do have 2 home playoff losses.
Under 500, right? At home?
Yeah.
So, yeah. B. Miller says, starting that dumb lineup with Josh Hart, start Deuce or Mitch. Oh, yeah, because the starting lineup has been a problem in these games. Like, now you weren't saying this after the first 2
Josh
games.
Hart's not the guy I'm sitting. He's
No.
historically
Played
like,
well. What are we talking
well, not
about?
even that. He's the guy that hurts the Celtics.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, this is the thing though. Like Boston, it was inevitable they were going to have a game where they just started making everything.
yeah, they do this every series multiple times.
It's
Like, this
fine.
is what they
Yeah.
do. Like,
When Boston wins, they usually win pretty big.
Yeah, they're kind of front runnery.
Well, that's the thing though, and
Oh,
that's part of why New
definitely
York
so.
was able to come back because the style of ball that they play, it's so high variance
Yeah,
and it allows teams to get back into games, or you're just beating their doors off to the point where you're never going to catch them.
yeah.
So
Because if you look at their numbers, like they take the most threes, their 3-point rate is ridiculous, but also they don't attack the basket a ton.
no,
Like their numbers inside in terms of drives and things like that, their free throw rate is not very high. Like
no,
that's the counter. Like that's the sort of opposite side of that, where it's like just because you shoot a ton of threes doesn't mean you have a super well balanced offense. And they have the skill for it, but they just haven't demonstrated it.
yeah. I think generally, honestly, they have it's more that they have a really good defense. And then this style of offense is the best way to optimize them like from an efficient standpoint.
Now
Because they
it's
don't
30.
have great individual scorers. Like they have Tatum, they have Brown, they have Derek White, but like nobody is a super elite individual. I'm going to break you down every single time I go up and down the court.
Yeah. And Tatum and Brown are the best at it on the team, but
Yeah,
that comes with I wouldn't say either of them are A+ at it.
no,
You have Derek White over what points and rebounds? How many?
20 and a half.
Okay, he's at 19 right now.
Yeah, that's good.
So now we're looking at a potential garbage time situation
Yeah, now
if this continues. So now we have to see if the Knicks can go on that run.
Yeah,
that we think that they're going
this
to.
is the danger with props when you have blowouts on either side.
yeah.
yeah.
If that's hits, that's an assist, and that helps neither of us.
It actually just makes it worse. Like,
this
I think Joe Mazzulla has coached a good game so far. Also, clearly his best so far of the
is that Bridges' first field goal?
series.
might be.
Oh boy! Last game he didn't have it until the 4th, and then he really had it. So
Yeah.
who knows? I thought I was going to shoot that. I feel like if that were in game 1 or 2, he would have shot that.
It's really just you got to get and figure out something that's going to work. Here's a Tatum we know and love.
You don't want this to get out of hand because you want the. I mean, it's getting close, but you want the Knicks to try to have something to build off positively. You got to take that, Josh Hart.
Yeah,
because that's contested.
Oh,
and that almost went down.
That's the thing, though. I mean, none of these close ones are going down for us.
Yeah, the Knicks have had maybe 7 or 8 in or out shots today.
Yeah, if you're Cat, you played that perfectly. Because
that's a stupid.
Because Jalen's like,
it's a bad foul.
Jalen's like, I'm gonna step back, and then Cat's like, okay, go ahead,
do that,
please.
You mean I can't foul you?
Like, come on, Jalen. Like, what are we doing there? Yeah, Derek White, that's a foul. Got caught up there, but foul's a foul. Ultimately.
Starting to see a lot of this Mikal bringing up the ball.
Brunson trying to shake him loose a little bit.
Horford. Okay, Horford.
Good pass.
That's easy though. But see how they don't stick with Hart at all. Like not even a lick.
Because they're thinking somebody will come and help and he'll be hesitant on shooting the jumper. I believe that's 10 for Josh Hart.
Dude, that 12.5. We should have just bet the whole bankroll on that.
It was plus 100. So like even in a blowout situation, it's like, yeah, Josh Hart could get open on a pick and roll.
Yeah.
As you just saw.
You're not really fouling him. Like,
yeah. They're like Josh Hart just always just kills them. He just finds a way to do it.
Yeah.
You know who's not having a good game for the Knicks? He doesn't have a field goal. OG Anunoby.
Out of nowhere. 0
points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And I was wrong, Mikal. Mikal's had 2 other buckets. He's got 6 points.
I mean, they haven't shown any motivators for him today, so we know how OG plays.
Yeah, I just think the Knicks got to continue a little bit what they're doing here and see if they can. Right now it's at 25. Can you get this down to 15 by 5 minutes? Can then take it from there?
I mean, it's doable.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely doable.
I think the problem is if you get it down to 15, can you survive any bench minutes then? Or do you need to be able to play Brunson basically the rest of the game?
That scares me.
The rest of the game. Yeah, and then it's like you're risking these guys' health probably because people when they get tired, I think they get a little bit more prone to injury.
I think you got to win some of those bench minutes like you were able to do at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth in the last game. I think it's imperative. I think that's not been talked about enough, Joe. It's a good point you bring up because they won those minutes towards the end of the third and the fourth with Brunson sitting down. And they got really they need something like that again. Because that could be the difference between cutting it from let's say 15 to 8.
Yeah.
Let's say. And if you're there at 8 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Checking in then.
And the crowd is pumped up. That's pretty good shape. Look, we're a long way from there, people. A long way. We're just dreaming now. If you want to hit that Knicks money line, do it. I did not. Sorry, people. I lied to you. I did not do it. I did not do it. My producer Nikolai is trying to tell me to hammer it, but I will not do that. I'm not going to hammer it.
I wish I could.
Nikolai, if you want to hammer it for me and share the winnings, we can do that.
I really wish I could read this out loud, but I can't. I'll just show you the headline.
That's hilarious. I didn't even know you could do that.
Fight back.
I didn't even know you could do that too.
Who cares?
If somebody told you that was going to court, you'd be like, "What?"
So I don't leave the viewers out and be a bad host. One country is suing another country. You can Google it. I didn't know it was possible. What the hell is this? Oh God.
So many chapters he's reading.
Okay.
That's actually hilarious.
It's funny because the whole thing about LeBron saying he reads all those books and he doesn't read the books.
Yeah.
Wait for him to play into that.
That's a funny commercial.
He still hasn't made it known that whether or not he's read the book. We still don't know. You know what I mean?
Gerard Hector, our friend who was in the chat before, Gerard's always like, LeBron, stay lying.
He does not, he does not think he's reading the book.
Oh man.
They're just the funniest. They're the funniest lies every time. Because they're just so unnecessary. Nobody would care either way.
Right. So why are you even doing this? Why are you doing this at all?
Just seem intelligent or whatever.
I've done that numerous times. I'd go to the library and I would take out too many books and I would get excited about the fact that I took out maybe 3 books at the same time. I would pick one of them that I really wanted to read, read that one, other 2, forget it. They went right back.
Fair.
I was like, it's not going to happen.
I have books
in my house that I still haven't finished.
Oh, I have a
Yeah,
ton.
same.
I have stuff that people have gifted me last year that I have not finished.
Yeah.
That I haven't started, to be fair. Oh, that could have been a huge steal. This is another thing. The Knicks haven't got those plays in this game. The
Yeah.
ones that like change the momentum. Good defense.
Yeah. If you're Missoula, you're like, what? What are you doing? But again, Tatum be feeling himself.
And part of the comebacks has been the Celtics sometimes taking stupid shots in the
Yeah.
offense.
That's interesting.
That's nice.
Okay, Bridges.
So
For him.
basically half the Knick points are coming from Brunson and Towns, which is an indicator like, yeah, you need other guys to step up here. There's 3 for Derek White.
Is he 3 for 3?
3 for 3.
That's brutal. You need him to be we need him to be 3 for 20.
Well, I need him to be 4 for 20.
All right,
that's gonna be the
fine,
game. Just because I have over 3.5 threes.
Well, I cashed my prop.
There you go. You did.
I might cash all of mine unless the Knicks don't come back. But
Nice attack there by
forgot about
OG.
that.
There he is.
Yeah, it was
First
just-
points of the game.
I will say this is about the biggest looking 24-point lead you could have.
Yeah.
I agree. And they just got to get some stops. Then see now the Celtics playing some smarter basketball, trying to get the mismatches they want. He's going to settle for the 3.
I don't know if I'd call this smarter, just because of like they're taking too long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is what the Knicks want. It's like, all right, you're clearly thinking about your next move. We can see that. The Knicks could just stay home, switch when necessary.
It helps.
Not too early, you know?
It helps with the energy too. I mean, you're not expending as much energy then.
Oh boy.
Oh, good recovery.
Is that on him too?
Is it?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I think he got stuffed back into him.
Oh, you tapped
Oh.
the last.
He tipped it at the end. It's good defense. Good help defense from Josh Hart. And that's why he needs to be out there.
And he makes his free throws, at least enough.
We're almost at Deuce McBride, Peyton Pritchard, Porzingis, Mitchell
Ah,
Robinson.
That's
time.
brutal.
Brunson just took his eye
There's
off.
Tatum. Tatum's really.
If you're going to foul him, Brunson,
You
you
gotta
got to foul
foul
him.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to play off foul him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just let him take the layup or dunk.
Yeah.
Brunson's mad at himself for that turnover.
I think Tatum knew he was going to get fouled too. That's why he went for the layup.
And this is why this feels like a game you're watching right here. Where it's like, you just
Look
doesn't
at Tatum,
feel-
like right away.
I was surprised they
Damn.
didn't call a kick ball there either, honestly.
Yeah, right away too. He left OG like dusted.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, that's a soft foul.
the Knicks just feels like whenever they get a little bit of momentum, like Boston comes and takes it right back.
Yeah.
they chanting at him or no? Thought I was hearing something.
No.
It's one of those games today.
16. I feel like he has more.
It feels like it, but it's not. He's had some tiny
He's hitting
threes.
his threes. Yeah.
19. $27.
Okay, Mikal. Oh, he's cooking
That
now.
was well defended too.
Yeah.
A tough shot.
But
You just need some of that.
he looks in rhythm now, though. Looks good.
Yeah, he looks comfortable. Can't say the same about everybody, but he looks comfortable.
I mean, listen, they got somebody else stepped up.
Ooh.
Or
They set a double
4 for
screen.
4?
Nope.
Double
Funny, I
screen
thought
to keep.
Horford should have shot that.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Okay, Bridges.
That was-
Wow. Got tipped right back to him. Oh. I think he probably could have went up there.
Yeah.
What?
What was going on?
That's out on McHale.
Just sloppy.
Because Mikal should have went up a couple of times. I don't know.
I thought they could have shot the ball at least 5 times.
That's the thing.
He overpassed
When an
there.
offense is in rhythm and like there's the shot and you don't take it, now everyone else is thrown off.
Yeah.
They did that multiple times. It's like McHale had the shot, then OG kind of had a look, then OG just falls on his ass. Like,
Jeez.
That was a UFO.
he looked old there.
Like Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
They're over 50% from 3.
Need this, Josh Hart.
Oh, wow, that was nearly an air ball. Yeah.
Didn't look old there, Brian.
Yeah. The Dominican foul of youth. We were talking about what Grady Diaz last game.
Yeah, he found the youth. See, the Knicks, anytime they get 24, right back up to 27, they just haven't been able to sustain a run. You said the run's coming, though, Brian. No foul there.
Our run is coming, but it might be too late. That's
You
the
get
problem.
a foul there?
The run might be 11-2 in garbage time at this rate.
Yeah,
if they don't get it together.
Did he call a foul on Cat?
Did they? Let's see.
What's the foul?
See, that was short. This is the fast break we're seeing again. 3-man weave. This is why you do it in high school. This is why.
Help the kids.
Help the kids.
You could be talking to the kids about 3-man weave.
I've thought about what it would be like to like be an assistant on like a varsity team in high school. And I'm like, I feel like it would help me develop patience for children.
You know, it's funny.
Probably.
A former teammate of mine in high school, he's now an assistant coach at my high school.
Oh, that's
for
great.
basketball, and he's talked to me about how he's understood how it's taught him patience.
That's why I thought about it.
I wouldn't have had patience with myself at that age. I'm like, nah, I understand.
Look, I've mentioned this before. Be like, yo, maybe this is a thing that could help. And the response I got was, you might need it. Like, not in a bad way, but like,
no, I see that.
It makes sense. Like, if especially if you're going to be a parent at some point.
Yeah,
gotta have patience. I'll say that.
Oh yeah,
offensive
the push
foul.
off, the Tatum push off,
classic.
He does it more than a lot of other dudes, but a lot of people do it now. That wasn't even wasn't even a super egregious one.
If somebody is like, complaining to me when you're up 27 points, I'm like, get out of my face.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
What are we doing?
You tease them on principle.
Yeah. They're like, what? I didn't even say anything. I'm like, yes, you said something.
You said anything.
27.
Pritchard almost got the steal there. It looked like for a second.
Like Bridges is so lanky, he should never get the ball stolen from him.
I don't know.
Handle could be tighter. That's the thing.
Oh,
nice. I saw the vision. Bridges got to cut harder there. I saw the vision though. Literally, because it was a nice bounce pass. Coaching TBD. The problem is also it probably won't pay shit.
No, it can't.
It probably won't pay much.
Yeah, that's not what you're doing it for at that point.
I know,
you're an assistant coach.
I know, but I mean,
you're doing it for the kids, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Saw the vision though. Sorry about that, people.
I don't like hearing myself sometimes.
You heard Bryan twice.
Jalen Brown is 19.
Oh yeah,
finally.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna get that.
We got one of those.
Oh, Derek White is like, oh, this fucking guy, man.
All right, so what's a realistic number that they'd have to cut it down to so the fourth quarter's in play? Under 20.
I was gonna say it might. 17. It has to be less than 20. Like you really want like 15, 16.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
I'm remembering like when the Heat beat the Bucks in round one a couple years ago, they had multiple 16-point comebacks in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
like it was like they were down 16 with 6 minutes to go.
You can do it.
And then Jimmy just went crazy, and they made a couple shots with the shooters, and like that. Like that's sort of what you'd be looking at. You need to get it to like 15, 16.
Yeah,
but the problem is like.
It's a little tough.
Yeah. Boston's hitting today, and they're playing a well-balanced game.
Yeah.
See, I think if they played like this more often,
I mean,
they miss free throws.
They wouldn't have as many regular season wins, but they'd be probably a better team or a more balanced offense. And I still feel like their offense could look better than this. That's a foul.
Yeah.
Garden crowd is out of it, you think?
Oh, they're out of it.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the drinks they're gonna have after this game.
We're starting now.
It's a good thing about the early start. A lot of people are gonna be out to dinner.
Some people didn't like the early start, and I'm like, it's fine. If you win, you have a nice evening to celebrate.
Axel Bronson.
Yeah.
If not, you go. You hit a local bar, drink away some of your sorrows, and
if you got a bar on like 34th, woo, you're chill. Oh,
there is one counter to all this. Could you imagine if you paid $900 to get in the building and you saw this?
No.
You know how mad you'd be if you paid $900?
I'm not paying
That's not even counting
for not good seats.
I'm
not even counting transportation.
There's not an event I'm paying $900 for. Not a single event.
No,
$900 is like a little vacation, honestly.
Yeah, for that I'm going away to a different country.
Yeah.
But see, I think the stakes of the event matters. Would you pay if I told you can get mid-bowl seats at a World Series game?
Who are the teams?
The Mets are in it.
So
against the Yankees.
If the Mets and the Yankees are in it, I'm trying to get a credential.
It wouldn't be $900. So I know I'm being
See, that's
if the Mets and the Yankees, I'm trying to get a credential if that's the case. And if I don't,
aren't available.
Okay, then I go to a restaurant with some friends, or I do a watch party. You know what I mean? Like I'll have a way around it.
Oh, I'm not hosting.
So
I don't like doing that.
I think it cuts a couple different ways because, like, if you've been to one of those events before, like I've never been to a World Series game, I've never been to a Finals game. I think I would pay more for the first time to go than I would like another time.
Yeah, I've never done Finals.
Like I do this. Like I like bourbon, so I do this with bottles of bourbon. Like I'll pay the premium the first time to get it, so I can have it if I've been trying to find it. And then once I know, then I'm like, all right, I'll assess on how to find it or whatever. But
how to find it affordably.
Yeah.
I see you. I saw it in your face. I was like, oh, I see you, Joe.
You know, like I don't always need to pay like $250 for Stag.
But which is great bourbon. Yeah. What's the most you spent on a bottle of bourbon?
Pushing 3.
But see,
that
doesn't sound crazy.
No, it's not. But
I don't know shit about alcohol.
But I like to drink it. Like I like to have it. I don't like to just put it on the mantle and keep it.
You want to maybe you pull it out for some nice experiences. Yeah. But see, that's like
if the Knicks won a title.
No.
It's so cheaper than at the bar.
True for one. Better to pay for that and having your home.
Yeah.
Also, you're like a young parent now. You know, so it's like you need that in the home sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what I was gonna say is I'm always about paying for experiences, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and so I will count the buying the bourbon if you like a whiskey, wine. I'm a wine drinker. You're gonna pay for these experiences, concerts.
I've gotten more like that now, but more so with vacations.
Yeah,
totally.
We've done like
vacations are enough.
We've done like a private dinner. You know what I mean? In Aruba.
That's romantic.
Which was not. Well, it was her birthday.
Yeah,
which was not cheap.
No,
but it was like 4 courses. You get like 2 different mains, the appetizer obviously before that, and dessert after. And everything. It's fresh seafood and shit.
Let me tell you something.
That was worth it.
One of the things that I will never. I won't say never cheap out on, but if it comes to an experience where I'm traveling and I can combine that with the food,
yes,
I'm not. When you travel, have as many good food experiences with it as you possibly can. Now, to be clear, some of those food experiences will come for very little money. You can find great food experiences for little money if you are willing to immerse yourself in the culture.
Yeah.
But when you're home, if you can get to a good concert, I'm with you on that. First time, I'm willing to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
You do something again, you might not be like, Now, here's what I won't want to do. I wouldn't pay $900 to be all the way up top. I can't do that.
No, that sucks.
Like, I'm trying to think.
At that point,
like, I'm trying to think, what's the event that would have to really get me to pay for, like, something that much? I don't know.
With music, for me, it would have to be some artist either I've seen or haven't seen, and they're doing something that's exclusive.
Yeah.
So if they're doing they're only going to play this album, or they're doing a residency, things like that of that experiences would make me.
I was thinking more like a comedy show. Like if Bill Burr is like, yo, I'm doing my special out of Radio City.
I saw Dave Chappelle at Radio City.
I saw Shane Gillis at Radio
City. And that was like
probably great.
I think it was close to like $300 a ticket, something like that. But
Shane
it was worth it.
Shane Gillis was a little less than that, but it was like, it may have been pushing 2. Maybe 1 something.
Dave Chappelle did 5 shows for that though. I remember he was doing it was limited. He was doing all these shows at Radio City, and it was like,
Chappelle's bigger than bigger than.
This
Gillis.
Also like
the vibe at a comedy show is also totally different. Like when you're at an event and everybody's laughing at the same stuff, it's like it's like going to a sporting event.
Yeah, I agree with
different.
that.
It's different than watching it at home on Netflix.
Yeah,
I agree completely. Yeah. And I feel like if you haven't been to a comedy show, you should go. You should try to experience that if you can.
Bill Burr's the one that I want to see the most.
I want to see.
So if he's, I hope he doesn't do like MSG, although obviously he can. Because I don't like comedy in like that big of a venue.
I've never done comedy in that big of a venue. I think Radio City might be the biggest I've ever
done.
Radio City for me.
What's his name? Sebastian Maniscalco. At the Garden.
How was that?
He was pretty good. He was funny, but that was like when it was a couple of years ago. So it was like when he was not coming up, but it was when he was making that first like real push where he had the Netflix stuff, and it was hilarious.
If I'm in an arena,
if you enjoyed it in an arena, I like that.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, Pritchard again. If I'm in an arena for like a comedy show or a music performance, I have to be like closer. Like Radio City, I don't have to be that close. Like we were on the lower, like I can't be up there, but we were like some rows back. We weren't like.
I had good seats for Chappelle too.
Yeah, we had good seats.
Like last night I was at the Kendrick and SZA concert, and I was on the floor, and it was good seats.
Yeah.
Like, granted, there's a whole like.
But I think that's worth it.
There's people who are in the pit, like, which I can't do.
I don't do that.
No, I think that's worth it.
But I'm on the floor with seats, and it was fine.
I think
11 rows back.
You're a big Kendrick fan. Kendrick is like, he's never been hotter
than he is right now.
It was a good show.
Me, I was like, I just didn't. I saw the amount and I was like, you know. I also don't love commuting to MetLife Stadium, but that's another story.
that's a totally different game. Yeah.
That coming back
it's
is
not my favorite.
Coming back is the worst.
Not my favorite. Not my favorite trip.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I took the MJ Transit in.
Yeah,
and
I prefer
going was fine. Coming back,
yeah.
Well, the problem is too, like you're in Secaucus, and then Secaucus makes you scan the ticket to like get out to go to the other train.
You have to do
it's
that.
a disaster.
It's a disaster. Yep.
Yeah.
It's annoying, and then the sheer amount of people could pass.
Oh wow, Porzingis Cornet lineup.
You're testing something funky out.
Ooh,
you haven't seen this?
No, but this means he's looking at it for Game 4.
Yeah,
you know,
and the Hack and Mitch is going on. Yo, that's
honestly
wild, disrespectful. Hack and Mitch up 29.
I'm cool with it right now. Let him get some reps in.
No, you're right.
It's the most free throws he's probably taken all month.
I'm so intrigued by this Porzingis Cornet lineup, but I think this is why. It's like, all right, if you're gonna do Cat and Mitch, there's a double big lineup that Boston could go throw to also.
Cornet's out already too.
You know, like I do wonder if that's something we'll see again. I'm intrigued about it because I don't think anyone has like a clear upper hand there. It kind of just depends.
Yeah,
you know.
3 for 9. Honestly, he's better than his playoff career average now.
He is. He's now he has a chance to be better than Game 1 if he hits this right here.
And now he's below.
How's
that could have been over the back.
Like, also, why is McBride down there?
That's probably why they didn't call over the back. They're like, KP's so much bigger.
Yeah. He's 6'2".
This is the first. We've been doing this for every game except one game because of the NFL draft. This is the first blowout we've had.
Yeah.
This is the first blowout of the playoffs that the Knicks have had.
Blowouts are rough.
Pritchard, wow. I had a feeling if this game was going to be like this, like Pritchard would be the guy, so to speak.
Yeah. There we go.
Shout out to those of you who had Mitchell Robinson over 4.5 points because I think he has 5 now.
Yeah, I think so.
With all the free throw attempts.
What a sweat.
He has 5 exactly. I think it was 4.5.
I think so.
Those people are mad because like we could have got there a lot longer, a lot sooner, I should say.
Yeah. Is there anything live that's interesting? I wonder.
Oop.
Oh wow. Oh. Yeah.
Like they're just not calling anything right now.
I think this is
trying
over.
To go home.
I think this is over.
Yeah.
29.
So
yeah.
It's probably over. It's 2-1.
I think Tibbs should. Granted, I'd like to see some props hit, but they're not. So
yeah, I don't think they're.
Should we just have Ethan call in now and preview Game 4?
Nah.
Let's see. We could take a live prop. It's probably something.
I mean, I still have a chance for some Deuce McBride stuff to hit.
See, Dev says, "Well, can still go up 3-1," and
Sure.
I'm like, "That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's really what it is. Like, this is about. If I'm the Knicks, I'm like, yo, pack it in. You have Game 4. Like, all right, Boston had the shooting game. See if they can do it again, and they very well can. But even if they do, you have to have some counters.
The thing is, though, I wonder if New York just continues to press them because, you know, it forces Boston to keep their guys on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe wear them out a little bit.
They're fouling Mitch again.
They're not letting the Knicks get any rhythm. Listen,
they're booing. You hear the crowd?
They should.
I get it. I totally get it.
I can't say I wouldn't do it if I was Missoula. I can't say I wouldn't do it if I was on the other side.
This is what we were saying about keeping them in at the end of the quarter. If you do it the other way, then it's fine.
Robert Kraft is there.
Really?
Bad Bunny came to the wrong game. Shout out to everyone who spent like a lot, man.
No, I'm not shouting at everybody spent a lot because some of the people who spend a lot can't spend a lot.
No, that was sarcasm.
Oh,
okay. It's like, you know, it's like I'm like I next game is Monday.
Monday we will be here. Candace Pedraza will be our guest.
I'll confirm with
sitting
her.
with us.
I'll confirm with her and see if she'll be able to make it. But yeah, we're guaranteed 5 games of this series.
True.
Which some people doubted. Oh, Mitch almost went 2 for 2. Now, if you had Mitch over 5.5 and got it late,
true.
You got it. You're there.
Look, the Knicks still with a chance to go up 3-1 on Monday is You're a Knicks fan. I'm not saying you're playing with house money, but you kind of are. You would have signed for it. Is this a little disappointing? Yes. I didn't think this would be
It's not the biggest surprise.
26 points.
Oh
after
my
3.
God, Derek White. I need that 4-3, at least. Like, if you're going to make me sit through this, we're going to sit through this anyway. We're here with y'all. But you get what I'm saying. Like, Derek White goes 3 for 3, and now he's like 3 for 6. What a tease.
Honestly, though, that wasn't a great quarter for Boston. I think, what did they score? 24?
24. The Knicks outscored them in that quarter. 25-24. So
by 1.
All right. Small victories.
No, sorry. Boston outscored the Knicks 25-24. My bad on that. So the Knicks, they won a +1. But the Knicks are giving them up 36 points in the first quarter, 35 in the second quarter. Yeah. The Knicks really haven't had the best offensive quarter was the second quarter. So
Jalen Brown has 19 points. His over-under live is 22.5.
Knicks offense, I was like, Knicks are shooting 41%. This difference is the Knicks are 2 of 18 from 3.
That's
and
gross.
The Celtics are 16 of 31.
I mean,
you're not beating anybody when they shoot 50.
Are we going to call it shooting variance since it's bad for the Knicks now? Is that what we're going to say?
Here's the problem. No, I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about it because I actually agree with you, but nobody's going to talk about it. They're going to be like, see, Boston hit their threes. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of true. But the Knicks also missed a lot, so they weren't anywhere close to them. Yeah. It's a huge part of they're plus 16.
Yeah,
threes and made threes.
Game to game playoffs are not always the same. So live, by the way,
is what 30? No, it's like
48 points. 48
points,
and they're up 26.
Yeah,
Knicks are plus 4,000 money line. For anyone interested in one of the best
ways to lose your money.
One of the most ridiculous comebacks ever.
Oh man, if you believe if you're throwing money on plus 4,000,
you're tilting right now.
Things have gotten bad for you in other ways.
Yeah.
The live line though is plus 23.5. I mean,
now that's a better bet.
What's the fourth quarter line?
24.5. I'm seeing.
I might even take Knicks to win the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
that's probably the move.
That means they're probably what minus.
But Boston's bench is better. That's the thing.
Well, they don't have Hauser, so.
Yeah, but Tillman, Shireman, Craig. I don't want to sweat that. I'm fine.
That's a bad sweat.
Can Derek White just make the 4-3, and then I'm good for the game? I'm good for the day because I have nothing on Minnesota Golden State right now.
I got Julius Randle over, I think 24.5 PA.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I like that spot. I mean, I think that he's got one of the advantages because he can, Draymond Green kind of has to cover him straight up to a degree, and it takes Draymond out of that romer type of role. Mm-hmm. And then if they send doubles at him, that he can facilitate. Obviously, Draymond, great defensive player, but Randall's a big dude. Like, we've watched plenty of Julius Randle.
And he's been good dishing the ball here in the postseason. I like that. 24.5 points and assists.
Yeah.
I like that.
We got 3 guys that we work with. Well, really technically 1 because they feature some other people. It's another story for another day. Golden State is plus 5.5. Matt's on that. Brandon's on Minnesota -5. Oof.
I bet the Wolves after game 1, they were plus 100 to win the series with Steph being hurt. And I think by the time game 2 kicked off or tipped off, they were like minus 180.
Damn, everyone's
I don't know what they were doing.
Everyone's on pods.
It was plus 100.
It was nuts. I think because it wasn't baking in Curry being hurt. Yeah.
Yes, you had to jump on that.
Yeah.
Shout out to our Knicks beat writer, Stephen Bondi. He says the biggest winner of today is the season ticket holder who sold a seat in the secondary market for an astronomical price. Salute.
It's a great tweet.
Salute to that person.
Looks like they just made a 3.
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, that matters. Important to some.
The Knicks made it. The Knicks
made it. We just don't know who. Was that Deuce McBride?
Was it Cat?
Oh, looks like, you got to keep starters out for a little bit. Put Derek White back in the game. Tatum's out there. Oh, Deuce is getting posted up on. Should have bet Knicks to win the quarter already. Uh-oh.
Brunson made that 3.
If the Knicks make 2 threes here.
We're live.
Oh, wow, Tatum.
Oh.
Yo, Tatum's made like some really good defensive plays.
Yes.
Damn, Brandon got his escalator.
I know.
My God.
You got it.
I'm telling you, Matt said it. He's like, he's the best at like, if I'm like, what if I'm right, but I'm like all the way right?
Yeah.
And just like I need to do that shit. He got 5 for 8 from 3 for Payne Pritchard.
You got to do it more often is the thing.
I have to, yeah. I tried it with Derek White.
You just got to be willing to lose is the thing.
Yeah.
Come on, Deuce. There we go. Needed that. I just need one more point from him.
Was that his first points?
No, he had a bucket earlier.
Was he at 5?
He's at 5. I had him over 5.5.
5.5.
And I had him with a 3, making a 3. So
I think you're looking great because
on that
he has to play.
Yeah.
Like assuming they pull away. But even if they don't,
this is not the matchup we want.
Yeah. Oh,
no offensive foul? Okay.
There we go.
I was about to say.
They called it?
Yeah.
Woo! I was about to say.
He'll accuse Brunson of being a flopper, but
I mean,
Celtics got to be careful here if you're Celtics because they're getting.
Yeah,
he
literally
forearms.
pushed him away. Like Celtics fans will call him a flopper. And did he exaggerate a little bit? Perhaps, but he literally pushed them out.
He did full forearm.
It's like, you got to fall. Because if you go backwards, you can crack your head on one of your teammates' knee or some shit. Ooh.
Oh!
Hey, guys, is the game
Brunson
start?
Burner, back to 20. You know what time it is. Comeback season.
Look at
J.R. Smith, LJ in the building, Starks in the building. Okay, the crowd is up on their feet.
Well, that's the thing. You get, like, if you make it close at all.
I should have took the plus 23.
I said that one in the quarter is not one I would have been opposed to here.
Yeah.
Is that that's the series you were referring to the other day, Dex? That's the first one you remember watching?
No, the first one I remember watching was where I really watched the playoff series was 2 years later against the Pistons. 92. First round. That was kind of the first playoff series.
Like I have very vague memories of like basketball in 1999.
Yeah.
Like very vague. But like I was like 5. So I'm like
I wasn't old enough.
Like I do remember like watching the Knicks in the finals. And I vaguely remember Allen Houston. But I don't remember like much until like maybe 2000, 2001.
I love it's funny because Bryan and I talk so much. So I love talking to New Yorkers or Knicks fans who are younger than me that have watched the Knicks because their fandom is so different, man.
Yeah.
It's such a different experience because they saw a lot of trash. Like, I'm surprised you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah, no.
I could almost be like, why? I could ask you why.
Yeah, because like, I mean, Joe's slightly older than me, but like I grew up, they were bad the entire time.
My whole life they've been bad.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You didn't have like anything coming to us like, oh man, they're good. Like this is the team I'm behind. This is
Yeah.
That's why I was like
all we had was them overpaying for Carmelo when he was gonna come in free agency anyway.
Right. Yeah. That's
that was the only Knick team up until this run where I was like, oh, I enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
It was the only one.
Shout out to Ernest here. He's like, back to reality. Yes, I hear you. 20 points being reality. Dev says, I fear it's too late this time. Maybe.
We'll see.
Maybe, but I do think there's value in coming back to some degree here.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't complete the comeback.
Scare them a little bit.
Yeah, and work on momentum for the next game. Wait, Donovan Mitchell's doing Skims commercials now? I apologize if this is not Skims.
Look, well deserved because he's been playing his ass off.
He's been going crazy.
A lot of close-ups here.
Skips.
Like just a lot of close-ups.
Yeah.
But like, it is what it is. It's an underwear ad, We're a little more lenient about that in 2025.
Mission Impossible always takes my money.
Donovan Mitchell's like legitimately one of my favorite players in the league.
I saw a tweet and it was like, if he played in the 90s, he'd be in the GOAT conversation.
Especially because like how many I don't say not good, that's harsh. The gap for two guards in the 90s was like Michael Jordan, Mitch Richmond, and then like everybody else.
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde
Clyde
also.
Drexler at the beginning of that.
Yeah, and Mitchell could shoot threes.
Right.
So like
Yeah, if they saw the way Mitchell played in the 90s, they would they'd drug test him. They would be like, what's going on here?
somebody would have tried to break his legs.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly, like how long until you get to Allen Houston?
Yeah.
I mean, in the late 90s, not long.
Right. That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
I mean, people are going to say, well, Kobe was in, but Kobe was young in like 1999.
Yeah.
Allen Houston was a top 5 shooting guard, probably 99.
Yeah, I would say easily.
Shout out to those people.
He was an all-star twice.
Yeah.
And he was on Team USA, like a good Team USA team. The last good one before they fell off and then got it back. I thought that was a shot.
Me too. I was hoping.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was pretty good defense by Bridges. Where did he get him?
The head, I think. Or maybe the upper arm. I read those lips.
I did. That's a tall order.
Yeah, the head.
Yeah.
Across the head.
Say it wasn't arm.
It's hard because he's 7'12". So like, how could you not just like
little hand.
It sucks because he's going for the ball, but he caught some of his head.
It's like the elbow.
Hey. John says this would have been a closer game if Cat decided to play any type of defense in the first half. I mean,
he was in foul trouble.
They went
remember?
2 for 17.
If you want to, right. I mean, like, there's more to it than that, right? Like, he was in foul trouble. He had some stupid fouls. I would not disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't think Cat was great, but I don't think this is all on.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, 2 for 17. I mean, you make 5. You go 5 for 17. We're looking at a totally different game.
Yeah, the Knicks, if they're going to try to make a real run here, they're going to have to cut into some of that three-point math.
Look at
Good defense by Drew. Great defense.
No.
God,
Drew's
Mitch almost
gonna
had
just
another
make you take a
rebound.
tough shot every time. That was good defense from Mikal.
Knicks defense has been pretty solid. I don't think the Knicks have been bad defensively in this game, as it might indicate.
This is the thing with Boston, though. It's like they drift away from what works for a quarter.
No foul?
Not
Sometimes
calling anything today.
Like Boston can get away from what's working, and that's how they end up like in these situations.
What is going on?
I'm so mad I didn't take the Knicks plus 24.5, bro.
How did Al Horford go flying from Jalen Brunson?
That's why That's why Jalen's probably looking at him.
That's crazy.
Brunson's like, stop flopping.
He's like, come on, man.
Look at that. Was that Bad Bunny and Happy Gilmore too?
I didn't realize we were getting a Happy Gilmore too.
I remember like a couple of my
That
friends
is
were
him.
thinking about going to do it. Be like a standby guy or whatever, like
Oh,
in the audience.
For audience.
Yeah.
Who asked for this though?
I do want to play Top Golf this summer.
It's only on Netflix.
Oh.
That says a lot.
There you go.
That
I feel
says
like
a lot.
lot's only on.
But a
there
lot
now.
only gets enough.
That says that Netflix gave them
a lot of
the
money.
bag for that. If Bad Bunny's in it and they're doing it again, like it's a money play.
Yeah.
I'm not a big movie guy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but also I'd love to know more about the movie. Like, who else was it shopped to? Who was in on it?
Max, Amazon, Apple TV Plus,
And they got it somewhere. I want to know some
Hulu,
more.
maybe, like the usual suspects.
John says it's also crazy how you have to just tap Boston players. That's a foul, but the Knicks are getting mugged and no calls. I do think there's some no calls for the Knicks, but they've been letting it go both ways.
Yeah.
I don't have a terrible problem with how this game has been officiated. There's a bunch of times if you've been watching, you've seen it say, where's the foul?
Yeah.
Particularly on Cat, I will actually say. Cat, I think, has got mugged a couple of times.
Cat's gotten a bad whistle.
Yeah.
I don't think the officiating's been like super imbalanced.
No, I don't think so either.
Like,
let me look at free throws. I feel like free throws are probably the same. It just doesn't stand out because
The thing is, though, the free throws I feel like shouldn't be the same because Boston doesn't get to the rack. Like that's not their style of ball.
Fair point. The Knicks have actually shot 29 free throws. The Celtics only shot 17.
But how many are Mitch?
Right, and Mitch has shot 12.
Yeah,
that's
so, I mean,
literally the difference.
Yeah,
Mitch has shot 12.
Free throws not always an indicator because it could also be fouls away from the rim.
Yeah,
away from shooting.
But the Knicks, the math.
I don't think the whistle's like suspicious.
No, the math just isn't math. I think a big thing is like you can talk about the defense whatever you want. The math isn't mathing for the Knicks here. 5 of 21 is 23% from downtown.
You're never going to beat Boston shooting
and
like
62% from line. And then conversely, they're shooting 53% from 3-point line.
On low volume,
88% from the line.
What's
32 attempts? 32 attempts.
That's low for them.
That's really low for them because they average like 50.
Last game they played. What did they shoot? 40 last game.
40, yeah.
So they'll probably get to 40 today.
Yeah, they should.
Still low for them.
Yeah,
but I mean more balanced. Yeah.
Should be interesting.
This commercial sucks.
Why are you mad? Why are you mad at the commercial?
It's just the phone company got to do better.
They're usually pretty good, those commercials.
Oh, I know this area. Obviously,
I've never been there.
Vessels.
I've seen it, but yeah.
Have you been to the top? Well, you can't go anymore.
Never been there.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it, but like
They've closed it. They don't let people up the top because
Really?
because people were committing suicide
doing the thing. Yeah.
from the top of it. I went in like right before the pandemic.
Oh wow,
That is a flop. Oh my god.
Look at Jalen Brunson's face.
You know what he said? He's like, first of all, you be flopping. So
Yeah,
He's like, he's dadding him right now.
Jalen's like, bro, you're 6'9", 250. Looked like they were talking to each other a little bit. I really think the majority of these dudes respect each other. So I don't think they're gonna get into like
nah, I don't think so.
shit like that. But they're also both super competitive teams. Like, how could you not be at this stage? Yeah, I felt like he was gonna shoot that. Oh,
He's cooking today.
Yo, I know he doesn't look like much.
Well, he landed, I think, a little bit.
I know he don't look like much, but that dude is nice, man.
That's the thing, though. Like, if you're gonna lose a game, like if you're New York, you're losing the Pritchard 3-point barrage game. Like, whatever, it's gonna happen.
Pritchard's the difference. He has 23. They're up 23. Now it's 21.
Yeah.
And Pritchard could have another game, like, but we'll see. Mikhail, I don't remember when he was cold for a while, or not cold. But he wasn't doing anything offensively. He has 12 now, so that over/under was like in 15 range.
There's
Not able to get the rebounds.
Yeah.
Can't give up those kind of offensive rebounds.
Is Derek White really going to sit this quarter, Joe?
He might. You need a couple. You need like probably you need like an 8-0 run.
The Knicks, yeah. Olga pass. Oh,
is it a good pass?
Block.
Is
That's
it
brutal?
Was it a good pass though? If you're giving up to a guy who's probably can go 1 or 2 at the line,
I think that's fair.
It's maybe a little unnecessary pass.
Maybe that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like Brian's right. It was a good pass in what he did there.
I think it was a more high percentage shot than Cat had.
I'm surprised Mitch wasn't able to dunk that.
Yeah.
Ow, man.
You got stuffed by a 38-year-old. It's not what you want. 2 blocks for Al Horford today. You got to give credit to Al Horford. He's bounced back here for sure.
Oh, Porzingis and Deuce. Oh, boy. I mean, he faded away a little bit. Not really. He leaned a little too much.
Go up.
No foul again.
Yeah.
I think Cat's not getting these fouls because he's like out of control when he gets the ball.
But I feel like that's just his normal state.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like he's always flapping around a little bit.
It's like when he gets, he's not gathering. I see what Brian's saying.
What
he's kind of going, and he just tossed that one up. I think he really expected to get the call there.
He's not composed. Like, he just kind of like just flails and throws it up and gets it back down. Like,
This
it's
is
just
becoming like
sloppy.
this. This is where it gets tough because the Knicks have to.
See,
that's a foul.
That's probably a foul.
They're just not going to call anything the rest
They're
of the
not
game.
giving him anything.
Yeah.
Take the Cat over for free throw attempts next game.
Refs are ready to go home.
He's like,
Cat's like, I'm not going
forget it.
inside.
I'll shoot a 3 this time.
Mitchell Robinson got
shoved
pushed.
him in the back.
And there was no call there.
That's what I'm saying. They're just not. They want to go home.
OG coming back in.
John said, I know Boston has a lot to do with it on defense, but why do you guys think the Knicks played with no urgency first 3 quarters, all 3 games? Well, I wouldn't say it was no urgency in all 3 quarters. I thought both games 1 and 2, they played fine in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's the middle quarters, the second and middle of the third quarter that hurt them. They showed urgency at the end. I mean, like, we also got to credit Boston. Boston's a good team. This is a really good defensive team. They're champions.
They're the championship favorites.
Right. Like, I don't think sometimes we have a tendency to be like, okay, this didn't happen and we got to blame something or somebody. And sometimes, like, Boston just played good. The Knicks.
Yeah.
I don't think the Knicks have still really played a good game in the series. They've had spurts of goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've played a good game.
I don't think either team played their best today. I think Boston played obviously better, and they executed better. I think the
Boston
Knicks
played pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, the Knicks missed shots is part of it too. But I mean, Boston made their shots. The Knicks missed theirs. Boston had much cleaner offense, I would say, than the Knicks did too. Like, that's really a big thing. See, that one's definitely.
It was finally obvious. Yeah.
Joe, you wanted to get in on that too. The question about just like why did this play out this way?
I mean, I think too, it's, Boston was a desperate team today. Like this was important. They had to win. No team's ever come back from down 3-0 in a series. So
And they almost did once.
they almost did. They almost
Right,
did.
right.
But granted, that was a Miami team that was definitely outclassed to a degree there. So I think it's just a little bit different. But this has been a tough game for the Knicks. And then obviously Cat just totally faded away in the second half. So I don't know. Maybe is that a thumb thing? Who knows?
Oh wow.
Some of the fans are leaving
already.
Dude, you're leaving now. You're leaving 1/8 of that $800 ticket on the table.
I mean, they're like, look, it's a sunk cost. It's not going to get any better. Like it could, but it's 5 minutes left. It's not getting any better.
How much traffic do you have to beat? It's a Saturday afternoon.
Depends where you're going. Depends where your other plans are.
Yeah, if y'all coming from Jersey, there might be people. There might be people like
maybe you want to be the first one in the bar. Who knows?
That's true. There might be people. Listen, I think we shit on sports fans a little too much for wanting to beat traffic. In certain situations.
Traffic is awful. I hate traffic. I've wasted too much time in my life in traffic.
Yeah. Like if I know I got to take a cab back, like I don't have a ride or whatever, like I'm not trying to stay to the end. I'm looking for
call that nonsense.
I'm looking for reasons to leave early when I go to a sporting event, and if I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm looking for reasons to leave.
But there's
early.
nothing worse than leaving early and there's a miraculous finish to the game.
Well, if it's close, I'm staying.
Yeah.
No,
but sometimes it's not close.
And then it's
then all of a sudden it is close.
You just got to make a judgment call.
Yeah.
Or you just got to be fine to live with the results. Like I've left, like, for example, I left the Betis game when I went in Spain, when I went to soccer, when they were playing Sevilla. We left with like 20 minutes left. It was 2-1, 25 minutes left because we're like, yo, we're foreigners.
And it's going to be madness after.
Yeah.
And we got to cab it back. And it was a Sunday night. That's the other thing.
Oh, you got to get out. Yeah.
So we dipped. The cab took a little bit, but we got it or whatever. We didn't miss anything because all the goals happened in the first half.
Yeah.
So we were good. They won. Betis is in their first European Cup final also, which I'm excited about.
Excited about?
Yeah. As a diehard fan since March of 2025.
If it was me and I was overseas, like I haven't been to see Liverpool play at Anfield yet, but if I go and I'm not leaving early.
Well, also,
you're a fan. You know what I mean? Like I'm a casual when it comes to club soccer. I'm more than a casual when it comes to like international soccer, country versus country. Like that's different.
But at least in England, everybody speaks English. Like,
it's true. You have no problem.
It's not as tough to navigate.
That's a fair point.
We were in Spain.
That's nothing English speaking, but not.
Yeah,
but
my
not
Spanish
Spain.
isn't awesome, but like I could get around.
Fair, you got a little bit of an advantage.
Right?
You got.
If I was in Spain, I probably left early too.
You got.
I'd have bounced.
You got certain issues like when you try to order like juice because I don't drink, and you say Hugo, and they call it Zumo out there. That's different. You know what I mean? So like that's important things to know, but also
Knicks are down 20. Just saying.
Game starts.
When you're with a Dominican who knows Spanish, like you're fine. Travel.
Really?
No. Oh man.
I hate sounds of the game.
They never give us what we want.
No.
There's never anything good.
No. I like.
Okay, that was funny. He said, "I got 5 kids after Al Horford got the block." Because he does have 5 kids. Occasionally, oftentimes you don't get what you want, but occasionally you'll get like certain players. They just gotta
at least be funny.
You gotta have the right players mic'd up. It's gotta be it's gotta be Ant.
Ant's good, yeah.
It's gotta be like Steph sometimes. Jimmy Butler's funny. I
feel like LeBron purposely says stuff when he's mic'd up.
Yeah.
So you always get something.
Yeah. He's like, okay, I got to be a super leader now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get rid of sounds of the game. Mic'd up. I'm like, if you're gonna give me mic'd up, give me the raw. Because I'm telling you,
the curse.
If they don't. If they put out like an uncensored mic'd up,
I would pay.
Oh my god, people would pay good money.
I would subscribe to that. $10.99 a month for like uncensored.
Honestly,
I would do that.
Luka mic'd up is probably awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know if I'd know half of what he's saying.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. He's just complaining to the refs, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
This was not like a signature Jayson Tatum big time game when needed, but it was a strong game for him. And he hit some. I feel like all his threes were big that he hit in this game.
Does it worry you that the signature performance may come still?
I don't know if he's gonna have one.
Yeah, because see, and I think this is a credit to like I'm looking at this, pull up this box real quick, but the Knicks have like they've made everybody in the Celtics like have to work for it. Everybody contributed. I mean, this is why the Celtics are so good.
Yeah.
Everybody contributed.
Like I'm not a Tatum guy, really. Like I respect the hell out of him, but he's not like one of my favorite players at all.
No.
But
I get nothing out of watching him.
Right.
Yeah.
I would be stunned. Like Colin Cowherd actually made an interesting point about that. I got what he was saying. But I'd be stunned if he didn't have like a 38, a 38, 14, 6, something like that. You know, just because he's good enough to do it.
You've seen him do it in some big games.
So, yeah,
that's what.
I could see it happening in Game 4. You know,
OG just has had him literally in hell. Like he doesn't want to even. He doesn't even shoot the ball. He's like, and I think that's been the thing.
Yeah, it's time for Tibbs to pull the starters.
Yeah,
because
do you think that? Okay, so how do you feel about like the starters having to finish this? Like they weren't blown out to the point of getting rest.
Nah, they gave it this shot. They gave it a run here.
Yeah,
it's time. Like I would have probably even done it 2 minutes ago.
Like
I'm not
it's
gonna
over now.
But
that's what I'm saying. Do you feel like? I mean, does that worry you for Monday?
No,
Boston kept out
because I like you. I like them having to push Boston starters. I kind of like a little bit of that. And like I'm always like respect the player. It's a playoff game. It's not wasn't 20. You can make runs now. They were around 20, and they can. What's closest they got in the fourth? I think 20.
Yeah.
I think they've got it closer to 20.
Yeah.
I feel like Tibbs is also a little bit sensitive about it because I think he blew a lead like when he was
he's taking out starters
right?
now. There you go. Yeah, he's taking starters out. That's right.
Yeah. Did you take all of them out? No.
Well, Cat's still shooting free throws.
Oh yeah.
Everybody but Cat. I'm fine. I'm sure somebody fouls here to automatically get him out. Fine. DeLon Wright playoff minutes.
Derek White's in, dude.
Washington Wizard legend DeLon Wright.
Is McBride in? Because I McBride's not in.
No.
Can Derek White shoot a 3, please? Why is Tatum still in?
Tatum's going to shoot a 3. Tatum has zero intention of passing.
He signaled for Cornette for the screen. Derek White's going to be open. Oh, come on. All right, you can get him out.
That's when you know.
Get in Shireman, Tillman, Craig.
Cal wants to shoot another 3.
Ariel Hawk-Porty's coming in the game.
Cat's still in. That's interesting.
I think because he
shot the free throws. That's why.
Derek.
I thought he was going to shoot a 3, honestly.
Derek, shoot it. Derek, we need one more.
Tatum's trying to get his points up.
Dead ass. Well, Shamit's on him. I don't blame him. That's an assist. If you had Tatum PRA, wonder what that feels like.
Well, it's a timeout that'll get the guys in.
Derek White shot 6 threes. That's it.
John said, might as well put Hawk-Porty, who's definitely coming in, and Tucker in right now to give Boston a taste of their own medicine. I mean, listen, this is over. We'll talk a little bit about it. We have Ethan Sears. Brian Lewis has been joining us throughout the playoffs. Ethan Sears will be joining us after this to talk about this, what's going to be a Knicks loss in Game 3 and looking ahead to Game 4. So, yeah.
Tough one.
Every series after tonight's game will be 2-1. I think. Every series.
Every series will be 2-1.
Yeah. After getting all the road teams winning Game 1, and then in 2 instances, Game 2.
Yeah.
Like, these... I've had multiple people who watch the NBA. They're like, man, this has been the most unpredictable, exciting playoffs that we've had in a while.
Yeah.
I love this.
In a while. Me too.
The playoffs have been fun. I know Knicks fans are going to be down on this, but again, if I said to you, Joe, I said to you, Brian, the Knicks will be up 2-1 heading to Game 4 with a chance to go up 3-1 at home.
You'd be so.
All you Knicks fans would take that. All of you would have taken it.
Ernest in the chat says
you'd probably feel better about it winning 2 and 3, but still.
You take the wins how you get them. Ernest says Knicks just got exposed. Exposed with what?
I mean, Boston just made 1,000,000 threes today, and the Knicks couldn't buy one.
Everybody thought that was going to happen at some point. So,
yeah, I mean,
what got exposed about the Knicks?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Nobody thought Boston was going to shoot 25% from three.
I'll say this, Ernest. Like, could this happen again? Yes.
Sure.
I don't think it means that. Like, I don't think it means they got exposed. I think this is what people thought the series was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, this is what a lot of people thought the series was going to be. You know, myself included. Not every game, but I thought we'd get like one or two of these. But you know, it could happen again. I don't think it means the Knicks are exposed or whatever the case may be. I think that's more so like kind of like how after game one, and we'll talk about this. After game one, I was kind of like, all right, like this. I don't know if this is a referendum on the series. Let's see what happens in game two. That'll tell us a lot. Game two happens. Now it's like, oh, okay. Now we have to adjust our expectations. So same thing here. It's like game three. All right, Boston got theirs. Now game four is going to game four might be the series for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people might look at this and be like, all right, Boston wins game four. That's it. And if the Knicks win game four, that's it. I think game four is going to be super important. But I went into today with that mentality, even if this became a blowout, and it has.
I do think game four is, if the Knicks want to really have a chance to win this, I do think game four is this. I really hate saying something like definitive, but I do think it's a series for them. I do.
I think so too.
I think they have to come out much better, and that's going to be the key.
Well, you lose all the momentum, and then game five is in Boston. So you got to win.
You're going to win a third time in Boston? Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you got to put yourself in a position where the variance can kind of play out your way.
Right. Where if you go in the next, if you win game four, now you just have to win one of the next 3 games.
Yeah.
And you have one at home. So it's a much easier task.
And the Knicks are going to have some film to look at that's different from this game and say, all right, we got to work on this.
Uh-oh.
Cover alert. Are the Knicks going to cover the 24.5 for those of you who played it after the fourth quarter?
Yeah, because they're not going to shoot it.
Yeah, I should have did it. God damn it.
It's a dribble out.
Torrey Craig, who I thought would get minutes, but Boston.
Yeah, I thought we might get some more from him, especially when Hauser went down. I thought he might get some minutes.
Yeah.
But he hasn't, so they're going to dribble it out.
I like Craig, man. Yep, 2-1.
Tough one.
Oh, I think for both series, I'm looking at game four like this might be the series.
Yeah, critically important game.
For every series now.
Yeah.
Because even today with Minnesota Golden State, whoever wins game threes, whatever. But I feel like if you win game four, the team basically forcing 2-2 or forcing 3-1 with game four, I think at least 3 of those teams who win game four this year, 3 of the 4 will win the series.
Well, Minnesota is interesting too because that means Curry's coming back probably.
If it goes
2-2,
6 is when he'd likely come back.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting, which is why they want to try to get control and wrap this up as soon as possible if they can.
Yeah.
We see everybody's comments in the chats. We're going to move over to post game now as the Knicks lose this one, 115-93. Dexter Henry, Bryan Fonseca, Joe Dellera here with us post game. Knicks blown out in this one. It wasn't really close from the start, 115-93. Celtics, they had 5 players in double figures, led by your boy, Bryan, Peyton Pritchard, with 23 points. Jayson Tatum, 22. Jayson Tatum shot 8 of 20 in this game. So they were making it work, but 5 and 9 from downtown. I was saying that how all the threes that he had felt really big in this one. The Knicks, they were led by Karl Anthony Towns. They were led by Jalen Brunson. He had 27 points and 9 and 21 shooting. Cat at 21.
Brunson had 27
with
and a half
15
over
rebounds.
Oh.
Yeah, so
that's people who took that over. Yikes.
That's tough. Brunson also 7 assists. Knicks not getting much help elsewhere. Mikal Bridges 12 points. Most of those came in the third and fourth quarter. Then you also had Josh Hart, who 10. So I didn't hit on any of my props today at all. Josh Hart couldn't get me another bucket.
Got all mine except Derek White.
Deuce McBride, Kemi. So not much winning there when it comes to the Knicks. We are going to bring in our guy who's one of the fantastic reporters for us with the New York Post. He covers mainly another team that wears blue and orange. That is the New York Islanders, but he has been on our basketball coverage throughout the season. I've talked to him a couple of times this year in the Knicks locker room at some Knicks games. It's my guy, Ethan Sears, here for the New York Post. Ethan, what's going on, man?
Hey, Dexter. I'm doing good. How about you guys?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Better than Knicks fans today, or the Knicks fans that paid about $900 for the tickets to see them get blown out. Ethan, you watched this game, and there was so much talk about the three-point variance with the Celtics and what they did in the first two games, shooting 25%. They shoot 50% from downtown today. Was that just it? Was it just simple as the math for the Knicks? It didn't work here. The Celtics made shots, and they did not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the main thing. Just a stat that kind of stuck out to me, and this is from the first two games. So when the Celtics weren't shooting well from three, per NBA.com, 24 3-point attempts per game from the Celtics over the first two games were wide open. So that's the NBA defines that as a defender 6 feet or more away. They shot pretty terribly on those looks in the first two games. But I think probably you don't need to be very smart about basketball to know that wasn't going to last. Today I think we kind of saw that. I don't know what the numbers were from today. We'll find that out later, I guess. But I would hazard a guess that it wasn't too different in terms of the percentage of open looks the Celtics had. And, today they were hitting them. And that's really, probably the difference in this game.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it comes down to that, right? They hit the open threes. I did not think, we were saying this here watching the game, I did not think the Knicks defense was particularly bad for the most part. I think they were giving up maybe some above the break threes and some things that you normally didn't see, but I didn't think it was particularly bad. What do you think the Knicks need to do here to bounce back in game 4? Because this is a blowout. I think all season long fans have wanted these games to be more competitive. You saw competitive games, at least in the fourth quarter of these first two ones. What do the Knicks need to do to bounce back here in game 4?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is to fix the 3-point disparity, right? I mean, we just talked about it with the Celtics. The Knicks, obviously, on their end, 5 of 25 from three. That's just not something that can hold up over a series if the Knicks are going to be competitive. And the other thing that I would that just sticks out to me from this game, Mitchell Robinson was one of the Knicks' best players in terms of plus minus for the first two games of this series. Today, -3. Obviously, the hack and Mitch seemed to work pretty well for Boston, and seemed like maybe Mitch wasn't super confident. Like maybe that was in his head a little bit. So that's something that that sort of on my list to watch for game 4. And maybe if you're the Knicks, you try to tweak the rotations a little so that Mitchell Robinson isn't on the floor quite as much when you're in the bonus. Maybe you want him on the floor more, kind of at the start of quarters versus the end. But Joe Mazzulla seems pretty eager to foul him even when the Knicks aren't in the bonus. So that's something they're going to have to just figure out.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out. Joe Dellera, who's here with us from the Action Network, he said the same thing. He said they should start Mitch, later at the beginning of the quarter so they can get into the bonus, and that could benefit the Knicks other ways. We've had some talk here in the chat where people are saying, hey, maybe Tibbs should adjust the rotations more. You just kind of talked about that. Precious Achiuwa gave some good minutes in this one. The Knicks it's been a problem all season long, Ethan. They haven't got a lot out of their bench. Do you think Tibbs should maybe tweak the rotation a little bit more off the bench? Maybe some more looks at Precious, maybe some more time for McBride. Do you think the Knicks can do anything to get more out of their bench here in game 4?
I think that could be worth a shot. But at the end of the day, like this is who Tom Thibodeau has been for a really long time. So I don't know that it's necessarily like something that he would do, even if everybody thinks it's a good idea. He's always been a guy who plays short rotations, whether that's with the Knicks, Minnesota, Chicago, pretty much every stop of his career. And game 4 of a playoff series is usually not the time where you see coaches go away from those sorts of tendencies. I agree with you that Precious Achiuwa was pretty good in those minutes today. Deuce McBride was solid in his as well, and played actually 20 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like whether or not we're actually going to see Tom Thibodeau make that kind of adjustment, yeah, I would probably call it unlikely.
Probably right about that, Brett.
Ethan, do you think that, and I don't want to oversimplify this, but it kind of feels like Game 4 might be the series, because if the Knicks, obviously win this game, they'll pull ahead 3-1, and then from there you have 3 chances to close us out. But if Boston wins, you're now in a best of 3 situation where Boston has 2 home games, and while they're actually better on the road than at home, but they are probably not going to lose all their home games in the series, you would think, because of what we've seen from them for years. Do you have that same feeling that Game 4 will just tell us a lot as it relates to how this series is going to move going forward?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you said, you don't want to like totally overstate it, right? And I guess the Knicks would have a puncher's chance in a best of 3, but coming back home 2-0 is a huge opportunity for the Knicks. And if you're coming back up to Boston failing to win either game, I mean, it's really hard to come back from that. Where the Knicks have played well on the road these playoffs. They played a lot better on the road than they have at home. But I mean, even so, right? The Celtics are on paper, they're the favorite for this series. They're down 2-0, and if they kind of have momentum, if they've figured things out in terms of shooting the ball, that's going to be really tough for the Knicks to come back from, I would think.
Yeah, feels like it could be tough.
Yeah, and I think also, like, and we've talked about this up here, that the Knicks still haven't really played their A game, like their A game for an entire 4-quarter stint, or at least for like more than just a quarter, because like they've had
I agree with that.
a great fourth in multiple games, so to speak. But do you think like that game is still coming, or is Boston's defense good enough to the point where it may not even come, and then you have to figure out, all right, there are spots where you can sort of take this if you're the Knicks, but they haven't put together a full 48 minutes yet, and it feels like they can, but Boston's also a difficult team to do that against.
Yeah, I mean, look, it has to come if the Knicks are going to win this series. As great as those first 2 games were, as fun as it was, you're not going to win a best of 7 series by coming back from 20 points 4 times. That's
right.
I don't know this as a fact, but I would feel pretty confident saying that that's never happened in NBA history. You're going to have to play, probably win 2 more games where you are playing well for 48 minutes or something pretty close to that. Otherwise they're probably going to blow a 2-0 lead in this series and, lose in 6 or 7 games. And that's just the fact of the matter. There's really not much way around that. Great for them that they came back in these 2 games, but that's probably not a sustainable way of doing this.
Yeah, it's not sustainable at all. Joe, anything for Ethan?
I was thinking, who do you think out of the guys on the Knicks do you need to see step up to really be able to make the difference? Because we've seen obviously good games from Jalen Brunson, some difficulty a little bit with the efficiency on a night-to-night basis. But I feel like Cat, we need a little bit more from him offensively. But it's been inconsistent almost for the rest of the team. So who do you think would be the most important player for the Knicks to step up and really be that third guy for them?
Yeah, I mean, really you can go across the board there. Mikal Bridges, for everything he's done defensively, has been, I guess, pretty inconsistent offensively. Shot the ball okay today, but up until late in the game and in games 1 and 2 wasn't really making tons of impact. OG Anunoby was pretty invisible today. Just 6 field goal attempts. And I think Mitchell Robinson, they're going to have to figure out a counter to the Hakamich, and they're going to need him to make that kind of impact that we saw in games 1 and 2, where the rebounding when he was on the floor, and you saw it in the plus minus. The Knicks were really kind of dominating those minutes, and it seemed today like the Celtics kind of figured out a counter to that.
Yeah, you mentioned OG Anunoby's 6 shot attempts today, 1 of 6 from the field, only 2 points, a minus 25.
The chat did too.
That's not good. We saw people in the chat saying that can't happen.
Yeah.
And I think another point you brought up, Ethan, that's a good one, is that we've all talked about this, how the Knicks haven't played their A game, and I guess there's a question to be, what does that A game look like against this Celtics team, right? Like, what do they have to do to actually play their A game in Game 4? Because I'm with Bryan on this. I think Game 4 is, you got to win this game if you're going to win the series. They got to give themselves a shot where they have to win 1 out of the last 3. What does that A game look like to you if you see it going down for the Knicks on Monday night?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's interesting, right? I don't think we know, because we haven't seen it for more than a quarter at a time. I guess based on those fourth quarters, you would say, it looks like the Knicks defending a lot better than they did today, and taking advantage on the other end. It looks like Jalen Brunson getting hot. It looks like Mikal Bridges being a much more impactful guy on both ends of the floor than he was today. It looks like Karl Anthony Towns being, probably a much better version of himself than we saw today. You can go down the line. Really, there's probably, I don't really think anybody on the Knicks played well today. So, in lieu of naming the whole roster, I think I think it looks like a much more cohesive effort on both ends of the floor than we saw this afternoon, and really than we've seen, bar kind of those 2 fourth quarters for the entire series.
Yeah, you can't get down as much as they did today, and as you said, you keep getting down by 20 points. At some point, you're not going to be able to come back. But Knicks lose 115-93 to the Celtics. We will see what they can do if they can bounce back in Game 4. Ethan Sears will be with us after Game 4 as he is intently watching this game. I'm hoping for your sake, Ethan, and ours, we see it A game in Game 4. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to see. We're not trying to see him go down 20 again. So if they can come out with their A game, and I think the one last thing I'll say before I let you go is that, you knew the crowd was going to be pretty pumped up today, and they were, but the Celtics were able to take the air out of the crowd. I think the Knicks need to come out really strong on Monday to keep that energy up from the crowd, to put more pressure on the Celtics. And I would think you would agree the crowd should be a big factor again on Monday night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the Knicks, they never led in this game. I think it was, what were they down 10-4, something like that, and within the first few minutes. They really were pretty much never within 20 points in the second half, and really after probably the second quarter or so. There wasn't much for this crowd to get excited about, and it wouldn't have taken much, right? There's a crowd that paid a lot of money to be at the Garden today. Yep. Everybody was excited after after 2 wins in Boston. This is really as good of a chance as the Knicks have had to make it to a conference final or even an NBA finals in 25 years, I would say. So, it's not going to take much to get the crowd into it. And if the Knicks can get on a run to start Game 4, if they can come out hot, I think you're going to see it'll make a big difference in terms of that atmosphere and translate, probably to kind of the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, we will see. Game 4 Monday night. Knicks will have a chance to try to go up 3-1. Still in the driver's seat here. All is not lost, although I'm sure the fans are feeling, especially the ones who paid a lot of money to be at the Garden today, or we're outside in the watch plaza, because I don't think wherever you stay, if you're in that watch plaza watching, I mean, you can't be thrilled having been around all those people, and then you got to walk out of it. It's
tough day.
It's a tough day.
Yeah,
It's pretty tough. That is Ethan Sears, our guy, great reporter for the New York Post Sports. Ethan, it is a pleasure. We will see you Monday night, my friend.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Later. Once again, that's Ethan Sears. Everybody, check out his work here at the New York Post. Does a great job covering the Islanders for us. Knows his basketball really well here, too. I see a lot of people in the chat. Size 9 said, what's the difference between this series and the Pistons series? They're playing the defending champions. Like, it's not that the Knicks are playing, I think, terribly here. They have not put just together a complete game. But I do think I think there's a little bit of sometimes, I get it's Boston and New Yorkers, we don't like Boston, but you got to respect the opponent here. They are playing the defending champs. I don't think any of us sitting here thought the Celtics weren't going to fight back today. I don't think any of us sitting here thought the Celtics were not at some point going to hit some three-point shots.
Yeah.
The Celtics are a really damn good team, guys. They're the defending champions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I thought that we'd get this game at some point. I kind of thought it would be a game 2, but I mean, I then remembered, hey, Celtics not that great at home sometimes. I think the big thing here though is like we were just saying, game 4 is it might be the series. It might be, because you go from giving yourself 3 chances to close us out to now you have to win twice out of 3 against a team that's already lost both at home, that is going to have 2 home games going forward. And it's like, I don't think Boston's going to go winless at home for an entire series. They've had weird series with Miami, for example, which I've referenced multiple times, but that's one of the most recent examples of them having a similar series. And you saw Miami would win in Boston. Boston would win in Miami. It'd be back and forth. Even a couple of years ago when Miami went up 3-0, the first 2 games were won in Boston. Yeah. And then Boston ended up fighting back and winning games in Miami. They won multiple games in Miami to force that game 7, which was in Boston. And then we know what happened from there. So for this, it's game 4 is going to be very important because you want to put Boston back in a similar hole where it's all right, now you have to win 3 straight times, which is doable, but you have to win 3 straight times against a team that seems to have your number in fourth quarters. And that's the thing that we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen the Knicks get off to a good start.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the key to this next game, where it's all right, if you put Boston in that situation early where they have to sort of fight back, what does that look like? It gives Boston more time, obviously. But with Boston, are they going to then be out of sync offensively? Are they going to start forcing threes if they're down 12 in the second quarter? We still haven't seen the Knicks feed off the crowd in that way and get off to a really good start. And I still think it's possible we do see that for game 4.
Yeah, they're going to need it. They're going to need it. How are you feeling heading into game 4?
I mean, I think that it's just we expected one of these games from Boston at some point in time. This was the game they, I think, really had to win. I mean, you can't go down 0-3. So it's important to not lose home court after you flipped home court. And I think that's going to be the most important part about game 4. You got to win game 4. And then, like you said, it puts you in a situation where the way Boston plays basketball, it's a super high amount of variance. Leave that up to them then. So you have 3 games. Even if they go thermonuclear for 2 of them, there's going to be a game where the threes don't fall. And then that's the one that you can win. So I think that it's really New York put themselves in a good position. They put themselves in a position where if they lose, since they did lose this game, it's not the end of the world. You're still up 2-1, but you really got to lock in and try to win game 4.
Yeah. One more thing, Dex, real quick.
Yeah.
Because Joe mentioned this at probably the second or third quarter. We were all right, Boston has X amount of threes. Last time they finished with 40.
Yeah.
Today they finished with exactly 40 again.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they made 20 of them as opposed to making 10 of 40 or 15 of 60 as they did in game 1. So they did shoot better for 3. I don't think that tells the whole story, but with Boston, that's at least a healthy amount of it. They made 3.
Yeah, I mean, they made 50% of their threes. Shooting 50, there's a big difference between 50% and 25%.
Correct.
Yeah.
Doubled it up.
Doubled it up.
Yeah.
And so when you combine that with the fact of what they shot at the line, I think they were 88, 89%. Then the Knicks shot as poorly as they did the line. A lot of that was Mitchell Robinson. And that does have an impact to the game. See, the Knicks weren't hurt by Mitchell Robinson because he only had 1 free throw attempt in game 2, right? In this game that happened. And that doesn't mean that, but we're still seeing, I want to be very clear about that. We're still seeing Mitchell Robinson's impact in this series in terms of on the glass, on the boards. But if he could hit free throws, it would hurt a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the reason they lost the game. It's never one thing. People just like, you need to do this one thing or switch this one player. It's never that.
Yeah.
And I don't think I do not think, I want to be very clear, there's an adjustment. There's always adjustments game to game, but there isn't this one adjustment that is going to switch game 4 as much here. Like a lot of this is like, play a little bit better defense, hit some more of your shots, because if the Knicks hit more of their threes, the Celtics will be in a much better position. You're talking about getting off to a good start. All right, well, if you get off to a good start and you're up 8 or 10 in the first quarter, now the Celtics have to work harder to come back.
Right.
They haven't been in the position where they've had to work to really come back.
Right.
The Knicks know what that's like. The Celtics have no idea what that's like.
Celtics rarely have to do that.
And you have the momentum then. It's all on your side. So if you're able to control the pace, dictate the way the possessions go, you're also setting up Boston where they're not in transition. They have to run set offense if you're making these baskets. And that is a big swing. And I think that's part of what even helped New York in their comebacks, because Boston, they're really good at matchup hunting. They're really good at getting you when you're on your heels.
Yep.
If you make baskets, they're not going to have those same transition opportunities. So I think it's important that New York just really focuses on what their offense is.
Yeah, and listen, this is a Tibbs coach team led by Jalen Brunson. I think they're going to – you talked about looking at some tape, Joe. I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to look at what they can do better. But I think – and I'm sure we'll hear the quotes after. Last week, we need to play better.
Yeah.
We need to play better. We have not put a complete game together in the series. Think about what we're saying, everybody, watching, and you guys. The Knicks are up 2-1, and they have not played a even B-plus game in the series. We have not seen a complete game for them.
2 A-plus quarters.
Yes.
But other than that, like, some C's and whatever the case.
So if you think they can give you one, I'll take a B-plus game in game 4. That's huge.
Yeah.
Because like you said, now all the pressure's on the Celtics. They have to win the 3 in a row.
Because that's the other thing, right? If they play, like if the Knicks play their A game or B-plus game, as we're saying, it doesn't mean Boston won't. Like that's the other piece of it, like that's sort of the challenge of this team in general. And then after this, we'll get to some questions because, we have people in the chat obviously asking us things. But I think like for game 4, the start is going to be critical for the Knicks.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing too, like it's demoralizing to have to fight back every single time. Like that's the thing. Like if Boston has another 20-point lead at halftime, 20 plus or whatever it is, and it's like, all right, the Knicks have to fight back again. And like, that's taxing. There's only been so many times you can come from behind.
And then they're comfortable saying like, well, we had 20-point lead at halftime. Or no, was it 20? Yeah, over 20 at halftime.
Yeah.
And we held it in their house.
Yeah.
Can we do this again?
Yeah.
If the Knicks, I think the start's so important for game 4. I thought the start was important today, but it's even more important for game 4.
They missed so many bunnies to start the game too. It
the
dramatically changed the game immediately, where Boston had a 15-point lead. New York missed probably 4 or 5 shots that were either layups or right at the rim. And that swings, you're in even maybe a couple possession game in the first quarter instead.
Yeah, just saw a quote from Josh Hart.
They weren't generating the cleanest looks either.
No, they weren't. Josh Hart was just saying the Knicks didn't play with enough urgency. Now, that becomes very player speak after all these games and these losses.
And fans will take that and run with it. But I don't think urgency was the problem. It was it was mainly like execution more than anything else.
Right. Maybe. And sometimes
make a shot.
Missing shots.
Right. And to your point, I thought Knicks executed some good plays. They had some couple good looks and lane buddies that they missed. You wonder how much that took the wind out of their sails, for lack of a better term. And then they weren't confident as they could be on offense.
Yeah.
And we saw some of that. We'll get to some of the stuff here in the chat before we go. John says Boston made the Knicks work on defense. Knicks let Boston stand there and catch their breath with ISO. I mean, this was not that heavy of an ISO game. We saw some of that early from Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, but they didn't particularly kill them in isolation basketball.
No, I don't think I'd have to see what the numbers come out to be, but I don't think it was super effective the way Brown and Tatum were playing ISO ball. I think it was more they were making threes early.
Yeah, Tatum shot 8 of 20, guys. 8 of 20. He was 5 of 9 from downtown. So I kept saying that the threes felt big because they were big.
Yeah. Because he hadn't been hitting them prior.
No. And it's like if you told me Tatum shooting 8 of 20, you will sign for that.
That was 40%. But the threes, that's like 54, 55%.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
And a lot of those threes, like we said it, he was open, he was walking into them, there was a catch and shoot three. Like a lot of those threes were threes in rhythm.
Yeah, they weren't fadeaways as the shot clock's winding down.
Right.
So
and the Celtics didn't have any rush threes. I saw that. I don't have the stats to do that. John said Dexter needs to get Bryan Dayball to attend on Monday. I mean, maybe. I mean, you're the Giants fan here. Brian Daboll sitting in your seat. He's going to inspire confidence on the.
I don't know. I mean, he might just have to, maybe lay somebody out, is what he's saying.
I don't think he'd do it either.
Put Cordy in then.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe.
I don't think he'd do it.
John says start Mitch and Deuce over Cat and Bridges and let Cat and Bridges find their shots versus Boston backups.
You can't do that. You just can't do that.
Also, I think people make way too much
Starting
about
lineups.
who starts.
Yeah,
It's about who can close
I
games.
say this all the time.
People worry way too much about who starts. Also, you're not benching anybody here at this point. If you're benching Cat,
Not Cat.
you're benching Cat and you're benching Bridges. Why? Like Bridges was 6 of 12, I believe, in this game today, which is 12 points. He's been spotty offensively. He found his rhythm in the third quarter. It's not the reason that they lost. The Knicks have not been good offensively in the series, I also want to add. But, like, if the other team, which is a much better three-point shooting team than them, makes threes, if Boston shoots to their talent, they're going to win. I know nobody wants to hear that, but that's just – nobody wants to hear that.
Right.
But it's not that deep. It's really not that deep here.
But also, if you start – if we entertain it at all, if you start Deuce and Mitch, like Boston will be like, what?
They're going to kill them.
Those are the two guys that they're hunting. Like,
Yeah.
They're like, what? You mean to tell, like, all right, Mitch, so we're just going to put him in different pick and roll situations and trying to generate either looks at the rim because he's slow footed or 3-point shots at the corners because he's going to be there. And it's like, all right, we'll dare him to come out to the shooters because then we could just drive and, finish at the rim or drive and kick. And then with Deuce, he's the smallest guy there. So it's like, all right, Tatum, post him up. Jalen Brown, post him up. Horford, post him up. Like, they'll figure out how to do the cross-match stuff, which Boston does better than most teams.
They're great at that. They're great at that. So it's also, I know Cat has his liabilities, John. We appreciate the comment, but you're taking off Mikal Bridges, who's been one of your best defenders throughout this playoffs. Yeah. I know he's been a little slow offensively at times. You're going to ask him to play less minutes now just because you think he will cook against bench units. He's not going to get that much minutes against the bench. Nobody's playing their bench that many minutes.
Right, it's the playoffs. Like, if teams are going 7-8 deep, maybe 9, maybe.
And even then, it's like a fake 8 and 9.
It's a fake 8 and 9. Those guys are playing 4 or 5 minutes, maybe.
If you look at, and this today, counting garbage time, if you look at the minutes distribution, so for Boston, they went 8 deep. Other guys played 2 minutes. That don't count. But Porzingis had 19 minutes. Pritchard had 34, who was great today. And Luke Cornett had 10. And that's like the end of your rotation. If you look at the Knicks, we saw Precious Achiuwa. We talked about that. Yeah. He played 6 minutes. That's not rotation minutes. So Precious Achiuwa wasn't really like in the rotation. It was in the first half rotation. Then
that was because of foul trouble.
It's because of foul trouble. I got to give Tibbs credit for going to him when it was foul trouble.
Yeah. The rotation for the Knicks was 7 deep because Mitch had 20 minutes and Deuce McBride had 20 minutes. So that's really it. And that's what we're going to see from the rotations.
So to that point, do you want to then put, let's say you flip those, you want Cat playing 20 minutes?
I don't think
that's crazy.
He wouldn't do it that way, but I like.
Yeah.
His point though, to John's,
there's an adjustment to be made, but it's not going to be that dramatic.
Yeah. No, it's a start with the defensive roster to keep the game close. When they hack Mitch, they will be in the bonus. Now, I mean, there's a lot of assumptions there that even if you do start with that defensive roster to the game be close, that would mean the Celtics weren't hitting threes.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Celtics can't hit threes on that. And then you bring up the good point. They'd have that huge size advantage with McBride in the game.
Deuce, they're not stuck. Yeah. Like Mitch is the only one where I'm like, okay,
that could fit.
But that's like Boston is now up 3-2.
You need to do something.
Right. That's what that is. Like, I don't think
you would start Mitch with Cat.
With Cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Cat.
And you put him hard on the bench.
That's the thing. Tibbs is not starting. He's not starting him for Cat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unless Cat is playing with like a severed hand, but like he's not. That's not happening.
No.
I don't see it.
Now Mitch starting the second, third, and fourth quarters is probably a different discussion.
I think like you get the rotation, you get him in the rotation a little bit earlier to come into these quarters, and
that makes sense.
I think that makes more sense because also it's a psyche thing. I mean, if you tell the team, hey, we're gonna mix up the rotations a little bit, we're gonna bring in the bench guys a couple minutes earlier because we want them in this particular matchup. That's a lot easier for these guys to swallow than saying, hey, Bridges, Cat, you're gonna come off the bench. Like, these guys are like Cat is a max player. Mikal Bridges is up for a contract extension that's going to be probably in this at least the 9-figure mark. I would imagine
range, maybe.
Yeah, it's going to be a big contract. Yeah. You can't tell those guys you're coming off the bench.
Yeah, I think sometimes people forget the people stuff in this, right? Like I say, you're telling guys who are very prideful, who have worked, who've You're telling Mikal Bridges, who just had 2 game-saving defensive plays, nah, man, go sit on the bench. Like, I understand the thought of what John is saying and wants it. I think the spirit of what he's saying is he wants defense out first.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I just still don't think it's going to happen like that, and I don't think that's really the issue. I think the Celtics just didn't take as many rush threes today. They took more things in rhythm, particularly Jayson Tatum, and the difference in the game. The Knicks have not been a good team all year defending the 3.
No.
We know this. It's one of their limitations, and some of it's because their 2 best offensive players are also their worst defensive players.
Yeah.
Now, I think they've punched above their weight defensively here in this series. I think there are things the Knicks could build on. But if the Knicks want to win the series, I do think Game 4.
They got to make their shots.
You got to hit. That's the thing. That's how you hit Boston. That's how you beat Boston. Is you have to, among other things, you have to hit shots. You have to defend well. But if you don't hit shots, like they're usually, not every time as we've seen in the series so far, like they're going to hit shots.
Yeah, because Boston too, when the game's close, they fall into that propensity to just dribble the air out of the ball.
Exactly.
And if you can force that issue, the edge is going to go to New York because you have Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. Like you go look at any of Boston's dumb losses in the playoffs, like really the first 2 games of the series, any of the Miami games, the game that they blew against Orlando and they almost blew another one.
Yeah.
In Orlando, like to their credit, Orlando defends Boston better than anyone in the NBA.
Because they can take away the 3.
Because they take away the threes. Anybody. They were 6-3 against Boston straight up heading into that series. I don't think people really looked into that much. And honestly, if Jalen Suggs were healthy, they pushed them to 6 games, I think, maybe even 7. Yeah. But that's the thing. The Knicks don't have the same personnel for that. You would think because of OG and Mikal Bridges, but like they're not as physical, or at least Mikal isn't at times.
Yeah.
They're not as physical in the way, like they'll beat you to the spot, but like Orlando will just straight up push you around.
Yeah.
And which was bothering Boston. They were complaining about the physicality. And this is one of the things I said leading into this series. It's like, can the Knicks actually be physical with them? I
think they need to tap into a little bit of what they got out of the Pistons series, though, because that was a super physical series. And I think there was some commentary from even some of the guys on the team saying, I think it might have been Campaign was saying, like, thank God for the Pistons.
No, he did. Campaign's the one who said that.
Of course. Yeah, which is funny. But he was literally like,
Campaign,
they put us in a situation where we had to be physical. It was a war.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cut you off. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was just saying, you tap into that. Maybe you can disrupt a little bit of what Boston's doing.
And sometimes that's what the playoffs is, like teams putting you into positions where you have to adjust for it. This is why you can't get too high or too low after every game.
Yeah.
The Knicks can make adjustments here. I agree with you. I don't think they're going to be drastic, but some of it is going to be like, okay, we now have to maybe do something differently against the 3. We have to be more aggressive in this way. We're going to take this away. We can't leave those above the break threes.
Yeah.
Make it as comfortable. We want to make it as uncomfortable for them as possible. And that's the thing. I feel like Game 4 is setting up for big time to be a big Jalen Brunson game. Yeah. I think Jalen Brunson gets to come out and set the tone as the star that he is and say, get on my back, guys. We're not losing
8 points in the first 2 minutes, something like that.
Something like that.
The thing, and the reason why they can't quite do what Orlando does is because also, like, if Orlando is running you off the 3-point line, so to speak, and they're driving you into the lane and forcing you to take, like, tough twos or making you take tougher shots at the rim, you're going up against like Wendell Carter, Goga Batazzi, Jonathan Isaac at times, or whoever's
even
there.
Paolo,
even Paolo actually, and Franz Wagner is a good defender too, who is like a good help defender as well. But if you're looking at like the Knicks, it's like you're driving them into Karl Anthony Towns, and that's what Boston wants. That's why you can't quite do the same things. You can be physical with Boston. I think there's room for that. There's room for physicality in any playoff series. But it's about whether or not you have the personnel to do it. But ultimately, you just have to make shots. Like, unfortunately, like you just got to play better. That's what a lot of this comes down to. It's like scheming will only do but so much against Boston if they're going to hit shots.
Yep.
So if they hit shots, you got to hit shots. Like, you just have to be better. You have to play better. I know that's not like, top tier elite analysis, but this is basketball. This is basketball at the end of the day. Like, it is legitimately a make or miss league, and there's no team in the NBA that's more make or miss than the Celtics.
Yep.
So you have to make enough shots to keep up with them.
Sometimes you just got to give credit where credit's due. Look, it was a disappointing loss today for the Knicks. I don't think it's devastating. Joe said it. I don't think it's the end of the world. I happen to agree. They fall to the Celtics 115-93. There's still Game 4 on Monday. I think a lot of you Knicks fans out there would have signed to be up 2-1 in this position with a chance to go up 3-1. You got 2 cracks at it at home.
Yeah.
The crowd's still going to be lit on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
The energy will be there. We'll be back here on Monday to talk about it, watch along with you. Joe, We appreciate you coming through, man.
Hey,
This was a lot of fun. It was a pleasure. I love reading your work, your analysis, and it was a lot of fun. We're gonna have to do this with you again.
No, this is a blast. Thanks for having me, guys.
Don't feel bad because you're 0-1 in the seat. You know what I mean? There's other people who've been 0-1 in the seat. Doesn't mean you can't come back. It's not your fault.
As long as I don't go down like with a 20-point deficit or something like that.
There you go.
Pull myself out of that.
You're the guy who'll show back up though. We trust that for sure. That's Joe Dellera. Check him out on the Action Network. Does a great job with the NBA, covering all of it, giving you the best bets that there is.
Yes.
Hopefully, our bets, at least for me,
Cash That Podcast.
Do a little better.
Yeah.
Cash That
Also,
Podcast. Yes.
which I've been on.
Also on YouTube.
Yes.
On YouTube. Check that out. One of the best there. If you still want to throw some money on the Knicks to win the series,
You'll get value now.
It's gonna be juicy.
After this,
Yeah.
you'll get some value.
You'll get a good.
This might be a good
the
time to buy.
Celtics were favored narrowly.
Today.
Favored before this game. Okay, they
to
were
still
like
win the series.
to still win
Yeah.
the series.
Yeah.
So if you really want to put your money where your mouth is, and you think the Knicks are going to win the series, go bet it right now because you'll get it at a good number.
There you go. You can do that. That should be fun. Well, as I said, we'll be back on Monday. Our guest should be Candace Pedraza for that one for Game 4
Yeah, confirmed.
evening tip.
Mhm.
So that'll be good. We'll see everybody then. For Joe Dellera and Bryan Fonseca, I'm Dexter Henry. We'll catch you on Monday for Game 4 live Knicks watch party. New York got game style. Peace.